What's going on, guys? Obviously, not gonna have my normal energetic intro, but I want to come on. Like I said, when I do these, it helps me as much as it helps you guys because I need somebody to talk to. And after a game like that, I like to get my thoughts out and talk about the game and everything that transpired. And obviously, like I was super excited to do this stream after the game today, and I was excited to celebrate with you guys. I really was. I really thought we were going to win this game, especially as the game was, transpiring. I really thought we were going to win, and the Giants find a way to lose another football game. And but I figured I'd come live, talk to you guys for a bit, give my thoughts, listen to your thoughts. I always want you guys to be able to voice your opinion on my channel as well. But yeah, man, absolutely sucks, man, losing like that. This is a game I absolutely, like I said, I thought we were going to win, and we'll talk about the blame throughout this game. There's plenty of blame to go around. There's plenty of things that I really liked in terms of Daniel Jones. I thought he played incredible tonight. But we'll talk about some of the decision-making in terms of Joe Judge. Obviously, the defense was atrocious from start to finish of this game. The defense looked pretty good, I guess, in the third quarter. But outside of that, it was abysmal. And it's time, I said it week one. I didn't think enough people were giving Patrick Graham enough slack for the defense's performance week one. And tonight, it was even worse. The defense was absolutely horrendous, pathetic. A joke of a defense tonight. Obviously, you guys know I try to remain cool and collected. You're not going to see me go bananas. I don't have much of a voice right now, but the defense has been a complete letdown to start this year. And going into the year, when you looked at our first two opponents, the Denver Broncos and the Washington football team, and you knew that going in, you weren't going to have a completely healthy Saquon Barkley. You knew that Golladay, the offense didn't have much clicking yet, obviously, because everybody was hurt in preseason. For the offense to put forth the performance like this tonight and the defense not to show up is pathetic, and it's disheartening, and it's a joke. The offense tonight put the team on the back. They put up 29 points against the team that last week Justin Herbert could only score 20 points against. They should have had 36 if Darius Slayton knew how to catch a football, and he's starting to get on my shit list. But this is a game the Giants should have absolutely won. And Dexter Lawrence, of course, with the ridiculous penalty at the end of the game, just to tie it all in a bow. By the deep, how do you let an offense go 75 yards on two plays? How does that happen? Graham Gano, of course, was terrific. He was the big positive in this game for me outside of Jones and the offense, and we'll talk about him for sure. He made, I think, 4 field goals, 55-yarder, 52-yarder. Did a great job pinning them at the one with all those kicks. He was great tonight. Graham Gano, he's always good, but I mean the defense was just ridiculously bad. But I want to get your guys' thoughts. I always say I want to go live, and like I said, it always helps me to talk this out with you guys. And Chris, man, Chris L, thank you very much. He says, let's see if Chris finally holds Gettleman and Judge accountable or keeps deflecting blame to the coordinators. Listen, Chris L, you're going to get it when it's appropriate. 5-6 weeks in, you're going to get a 40-minute rant about Dave Gettleman this year, if it's appropriate. And I hope that never comes to fruition. I hope this team's competitive. But in terms of the draft this year, it was a joke. I'll be the first to say it. I was a big proponent of them drafting Rashawn Slater. The fact that they refused to address the offensive line this offseason was a complete disgrace. The fact that, and now Nick Gates goes down and you're really starting to see the holes in the armor with this offensive line. And that obviously was a major storyline in this game as well. We'll see how the New York Giants are able to rebound from that. But Gettleman, he's going to get fired if this team's bad this year. There's no doubt about it. I was okay with him coming back this year. I would have fired him, like I've said several times after 2019. I would have started from scratch. They decided not to do that. And at that point, I didn't want Joe Judge to have a bad situation by firing the GM last year after just 1 year. So I would have had a fresh start after 2019 when they decided to fire Pat Shurmur. As far as Joe Judge goes, there's a lot of questionable things in this game for Joe Judge, and we're going to talk about it. And Patrick Graham as well. The coordinators deserve blame, okay? Patrick Graham deserves a lot of blame. But Joe Judge was bad as well. His decision, there were times in this game where the Giants needed to be more aggressive in offense to close out this game the way that the defense was performing. And Joe Judge elected to play not to lose. He, in my opinion at least, he was not as aggressive as he should have been. When they had the ball after the interception, they had to be a little bit more aggressive. After that first run, which I completely understand, you have to try to pick up that first down to close the game out. You could even say on the 4th and 2 when Gano made the 55-yard field goal, Judge could have elected to try to seal that game and show confidence in his quarterback, who is definitely showing a lot more today than the defense ever showed. So there are definitely some questionable things about Judge as well. And Judge is not off to the best of starts this year. So I'll tell you that right now. It's 2 games. Am I going to say Judge needs to be fired? No, not yet. But it's not off to a good start, Chris. I'll tell you that right now. Let's see. Mustard Bus, man, thank you very much. Much left, ain't lots of season left. Lots of season, but this is a crippling loss. You can't, and I'm gonna try to get to these super chats. I'm gonna pull it up here. I realized that I could just do this. I'm not gonna be able to pull them up on here, but I'll read all your guys' super chats. It's just gonna take me a while to get to them. So if you gotta wait 30 minutes, I'm sorry. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to see them because the chat just moves way too fast. So I appreciate all you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. I say it all the time, but I'm just gonna read them off here because it's gonna be hard for me to be able to pull them off one at a time. Thank you guys for the incredible generosity. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. Yeah, Mustard Bar says much left, ain't lots of season left. Listen, man, we got a ways to go. It's a long season, but it's not, 0-2 start. Obviously, 12% of the time you make the playoffs after that. It's been all too familiar for New York Giants fans to get off to the 0-2 start. And the thing that sickens me is now we have a 10-day break and the way that we lost this game. The way that we lost this game. It's heartbreaking, and it's going to be very hard to overcome. Could we beat the Falcons? Absolutely, and we're going to see how tough this team is. But if we beat the Falcons, then you're staring at Dallas, at New Orleans, and the Rams in the face the next 3 games. Not going to be easy. So this was a game we really, really had to find a way to win, especially when we had the lead as late as we did. And it's tough, man. It's heartbreaking. And, we'll see if they're able to bounce back. And Cuber, man, thank you very much. I'm so frustrated with this team. You and me both, man. It's heartbreaking. Chris says, thoughts for the next GM. I mean, I can't give you a name right now. If they do move on from Dave Gettleman, which of course would mean that we have a bad season, which obviously, understandably, a lot of you guys feel it's trending that way. I have been on record of saying that we need to hire from outside. New York Giants for far too long have played it safe, and they've brought in guys with connections to Mara. Mara plays it way too safe. He's not willing to take on guys from the outside. If we're going to blow it up and we're going to bring in a new GM, you have to bring in an outsider. I don't care if that means you have to risk Joe Judge losing his job. I love Joe Judge. At the end of the day, you need a fresh mind in here. You cannot keep bringing in the same types of minds to this football team. In terms of a name, I can't give it to you. And I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope this team wins their next 15 games. But if Gettleman is fired, they have to bring in an outsider. I don't want somebody hired from within the organization. I'll tell you that right now. MYG Mason, man, thank you very much. Does Patrick Graham have a problem closing out games? Last year, Dallas, Philly, Tampa tonight, 4-18 games. Patrick Graham, man, and I love Patrick Graham going into the year. I thought he was going to do a fantastic job for this defense. And like Mustard Bus said, we still have a long season ahead of us. Season's not over, okay? But not a good start. We have to find a way to win one of those 3 games and beat Atlanta, get off to a 2-4 start, and maybe start to get the ball rolling. The only silver lining is we play in the NFC East, which right now Dallas is completely banged up. Washington, you saw, they played well tonight, I guess, on offense, but our defense sucks. And obviously, they're very questionable in their defense. I don't think anybody thought the New York Giants were going to put up what should have been 36 points against them tonight if Darius Slayton holds on to that football. And the Eagles, who knows? I know they got off to a good start week 1, but I don't think anybody's running away with this division. We could still make it a competitive year, but we put ourselves in a hole, and this is the type of loss that could be really backbreaking. As far as Patrick Graham goes, listen, man, all I can say is I'm severely disappointed. With the way the defense played and the way that he game planned. I thought he was way too passive to begin. Last week, I thought he was way too aggressive. And then he got aggressive there at the beginning of the second half. The defense was starting to click. And then we let up the big 75-yard drive. And I don't know, man. Part of it's definitely on the coaches, and part of it is definitely has to be on the players. The players you can never just put it on the coaches, whether it's the coordinator, whether it's the head coach, whether it's whatever. The players have to perform. Jason Garrett, as good as the offense looked today, still didn't call great plays. He did everything in his power to screw up that drive where Daniel Jones threw the touchdown pass to Darius Slayton. He made 2 horrible calls on that drive, but Jones, luckily for us, was able to overcome it. But the coaches still are not great. Of course, Graham, I know Garrett's the punching bag. Garrett opened it up today. You cannot use Garrett as the punching bag after today. We did throw the ball down the field. We put up points against what many thought was a good defense. So Graham, to me, if you're talking about the coordinators the first 2 weeks, he's the guy that should be getting the majority of the venom from this fan base, especially being how banged up this offense was going into the year, and how poorly this defense has performed against 2 offenses that I don't think anybody should have thought was going to be an electric offense to start the year. We didn't go against the Chiefs. We didn't go against the Bucs. Dire Giants fan, man, thank you very much. Props to constantly hosting the therapy session. Hey, man, I said I would do it at the beginning of the year, and I just feel like this is better than just making a post-game video where you guys could just drop comments that I'm not going to be able to respond to every one of them. And this is just easy for me to get my thoughts out. I watched the game back, and we'll probably go live again tomorrow when I get a real opportunity to watch the game and have more time to calm down and talk our thoughts out about the remaining portion of this season. Season's not over. I'm not giving up on it yet, but it's a tough night tonight. Drew Apples, man, thank you very much. Leo, Slayton, Garrett, Price to the electric chair. Yeah, I thought Price was decent at the beginning of the game, but as the game wore along, we were definitely giving up a lot of interior pressure. You saw Washington consistently dialing up the blitz, and with Gates out, that definitely hurts the offensive line. And I'm curious to see, with 10 days before the next game, what the New York Giants do, whether they make a trade, whether they pick somebody up out of free agency. I don't know how they're going to try to fill that vacancy, but I'm assuming he's going to be out for a long time. But the one guy you didn't mention there was Patrick Graham. You mentioned Garrett, but you didn't mention Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham needs to be on that list. Leo, let's be real. Leo got a big contract this year, and Leo has not lived up to that contract so far. I know he got some good interior pressure in the first game. I barely called his name tonight. I know Darius Slayton caught the touchdown, but at the end of the day, Darius Slayton had 2 drops in the first game. He had the drop in the preseason game. He had 6 or 7 drops last year and only like 65 targets, and he had the crucial drop tonight. And I had people that had the goal and the balls to say that that was a bad throw. You're a professional NFL receiver. Your quarterback couldn't step into the throw. He delivered it where it needed to be, where it could touch both of your hands. You need to catch the football. Darius Slayton, to me, is getting on my shit list. And I would prefer to see Kadarius Toney get more of an opportunity at this point. I have not been a Darius Slayton fan for a bit now. Leonardo, man, thank you very much, man. Falcons, Saints, Cowboys, Rams, Raiders, Chiefs. It's not going to be easy, man. I think we could beat the Falcons. I do. Even after this loss, I think we could beat the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons are good. You saw what the Eagles did against them. Their defense sucks. But the other teams you listed, I still am not sold on the Raiders. I know a good week 1. The Chiefs are great. The Rams are great. The Cowboys, we'll see. Questionable defense, and obviously they have a lot of injuries, and the Saints, I think, are really good. But, right now, thoughts got to be obviously on Atlanta. We got to win that game. We start 0-3, we're in big trouble. So, yeah. Bano, man, thank you very much. When Tyler and Teddy look like MVP candidates against our defense, something needs to change. I agree. We added Dory Jackson, who I actually thought looked pretty good today. But, you get Carter back, who didn't do a whole hell of a lot today. I know he got pressure on the second drive, I think, when they had that stunt. He had one good play, but he hasn't done much. But Bradbury has been underwhelming. I know Bradbury had the big pick, and that was a great play. But outside of that, Bradbury's been getting destroyed. Leonard Williams has been getting destroyed. I mean, you got to call it how you see it, man. And the defense has been so disappointing so far this year. So disappointing so far this year. MYG Mason says, prayers for Gates. Yeah, I obviously don't know the severity of the injury. Obviously, he got carted off. I think it was something to his lower leg. Supposedly it was so bad they couldn't show it on the TV. I'm sure I'll get an update tomorrow, but my guess would be MYG Mason that if he's not going to miss the whole year, he's going to miss a wide portion of it. Obviously, I haven't got many updates if it's come out already, but didn't look good. So, and he's such a great guy, a fan favorite. You hate to see that, man. You hate to see that. MY Giants 26, man, I can't get over the stupid mistakes. Judge talks discipline. Where was it today? We're better, than our roster, but play worse. How? Seriously. Future is gloom. MY Giants 26, man. I don't have much to add to that, man. Stupid penalties as well, right? I mean, we beat ourselves. We beat ourselves on defense. And like I said, when I get to watch the game back, and right now I'm just like fuming. I will, be better in terms of the individual details throughout the game. But yeah, we had a couple of stupid penalties. We beat ourselves. You're absolutely right. That we had no business giving up as many points as we did to Taylor Heinicke. And of course, the Dexter Lawrence penalty at the end of the game is absurd. But it should have never came down to that. Should have never came down to that. We should have had that game locked up. And you could talk about not being too aggressive on offense. And of course, the defense was just pathetic. Cumbia, man, thank you very much. Future for Slayton. Bench. Darius Slayton to me is not a part of the future of this football team. And maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll end up being a great wide receiver. The guy drops the ball too much. It is mission 101 for a wide receiver to catch the football. The guy drops the ball too much. And he's a limited wide receiver in terms of his route tree. Yes, is he a burner? Can he create big plays on the exterior? Sure. But the guy drops the ball too much. I think the fact that they basically extended Shepard when they backloaded the contract to me says sayonara, Darius Slayton. I don't expect him long term to have a big role in this offense. And he's starting to show why he was a 5th round pick. Travis, man, thank you very much. We need to stay strong as a fan base. We have to look at the positive. Daniel Jones, I hope showed fans something. It's unfortunate, Travis. It really is, because there is nobody, and if you were in Bad Dog Street when I was calling this game, there is nobody on this team. And I know a lot of people say, Chris, you're too hard on Daniel Jones. There is nobody on this team that I want to see succeed more than Daniel Jones. He's the quarterback of the football team. He's a great guy. He works his ass off, and he takes a lot of shit, and a lot of it is earned. He does a lot of stupid mistakes. He had the fumble last week. He's not the reason we lost the game last week. He's also not the reason we won it or could have won it. Didn't play great. He played okay. Today, he is the only reason we were in this football game. He is the only reason that we were in this football game. And it's unfortunate that we don't have a team when he plays like that could find a way to win a football game. Daniel Jones rushed for 100 yards. Daniel Jones should have thrown for 300 yards if Darius Slayton holds on to that football. And don't forget, he had a touchdown run called back off a nonsense holding penalty. He should have had 2 rushing touchdowns. He should have had 2 passing touchdowns. He played his ass off tonight against the defense that Justin Herbert only put up 20 points just a week before. I don't want to hear Daniel Jones slander this week. Daniel Jones played his ass off, and he's the only reason we were in this football game. And if there is a positive to take out of this game, it is just that. Now, of course, we need to see him continue to play well throughout the year, but I thought Daniel Jones had a fantastic game tonight. Fantastic game tonight. Clashes, man, thank you very much. I don't know what the Giants receiver did on the boat trip in Miami, but we've been in purgatory since. Whatever witch magic happened there, we feel it. Yeah, that may have something. I don't know, man. Maybe, listen, man, like you, I'm a very superstitious guy, Clashes. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe we're being punished because of our because of that boat trip. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's just been downhill ever since. And to me, this rebuild should have started after 2015. That was the biggest mistake the New York Giants ever made. We should have never been in this position. Should have blown it up after 2015. We decided not to do it. I put that on John Mara. But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. Chanix, man, thank you very much. I was celebrating in the other room, jumping around. I came back and we lost. Utter disappointment and rage. I have to be up in 6 hours. Chanix, man, I appreciate you for being here, and hopefully me talking and voicing my frustration is helping some of you guys out there. I know a lot of you guys like me are fuming after a loss like this. So hopefully some of you guys, it helps some of you guys. That's why I do these. And it helps me too. Jonathan, man, thank you very much. Watching this team year after year is literally costing me years off my life. I hope we keep DJ if he continues this type of play. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, Jonathan. Here's what I'll say. If DJ plays like he did in this game and he continues to do so, he's going to be our quarterback in 2022. But he's got to continue to build. I've been on record as saying, I think Dan Jones is going to throw 30 touchdowns this year. I do. And we'll see. So far, he's got 2 against 2 great defenses, and he got 2 rushing touchdowns. And he should have 3 if Darius Slayton could hold on to a football. And I fully expect him to throw at least 2, if not 3, against the Atlanta Falcons. I fully expect him to throw at least 2, if not 3, against the Dallas Cowboys. He's gone up against some of the toughest defenses on his schedule so far, and he hasn't looked that bad. Daniel Jones, to me, looks improved, and that is with a limited Saquon Barkley. That is with a wide receiver, Kenny Golladay, who doesn't have much of a rapport with him. That is with Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, who really hasn't gotten on the field yet. But now you have the banged-up offensive line now with Nick Gates out. So, I don't know, man. I'm rooting for the kid, man. I really am. I think he's a great kid. I think he works hard. I think he works his ass off. And I thought he deserved to win tonight. He deserved to win tonight. Shot, man, thank you very much. Long time, bud. How do we go from hero to zero on defense? Scheming pass rush doesn't work. Need to go back to 4-3. No Jones slander tonight. Nope, absolutely not, Sean, in terms of the Jones slander. It ain't working. Pass rush ain't getting home, man. Pass rush ain't getting home. I don't know what to tell you, Shaw. Last year, it was better. And granted, when you go back and look at our schedule last year, we played a lot of backup quarterbacks. Joe Burrow didn't play when we played the Bengals. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys didn't have Dak Prescott. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles had Wentz, who was probably the worst quarterback in football last year, played them twice. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe we all were fooled going into the year and too optimistic. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they get their act together, because we're going to start going up against much better offenses than we have the first 2 weeks. And this defense just certainly has not gotten the job done. Nate, man, thank you very much. How can a team flip in one season? It looks like a fool now being hyped before the season opener and calling our D top 5. Enjoyed the stream though. Nate, man, I'm just as disappointed as you, man. I was super hyped about this defense going into the year, as were a lot of you guys. And that, I think, even like the most pessimistic Giant fans, I think probably thought we'd be at least an average defense. Haven't even been close. Hadn't even been close through 2 games. And nobody was talking about it after week 1. People are going to start talking about it now, I promise you. JD, man, thank you very much. Got cooked by Teddy Bear, and yeah, unreal. Absolutely unreal. And if you guys haven't done so, please subscribe to JD Sports. I just can't pull it up because the chat is just way too many. That's why I'm not pulling up your super chats. I'm reading them here. But JD's the man. Great guy. My heart goes out to you tonight, man, because I know you're a dire Giant fan like me. And yeah, man, both those quarterbacks absolutely destroyed us, which is a joke, man. It's a joke. Last week, it wasn't as bad as this week. Because last week, JD, I actually said to myself, okay, yeah, the defensive game plan was not very good. We blitzed too much, but Bridgewater was making some great plays. So I was like, okay, I'm going to tip my cap to Bridgewater. He made like 3 or 4 ridiculous plays that sometimes you just have to tip your cap. The throw across the field on, he picking up the 4th and 1 with the stiff arm when McKinney was after him. There were plays where he just made something out of nothing. Tonight, defense sucked tonight. Silly Parody, man, thank you very much. A fire and cut everyone type of game. Not a good game, Silly Parody. Not a good game at all. It's 2 games in, and hopefully we can rebound. The season's still young, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man. And the Beard, man, thank you very much. Man, you all played one hell. Beard, man, hopefully you enjoyed the game. I know that you were there with Authentic. Man, you all played one hell of a game tonight. Showed up and fought hard. Giants fan base was here at the game and represented for y'all. Tough loss. Yeah, but congratulations on the win, man. You're a great guy. Any Washington fan watching this, congratulations on the win. You guys played your butts off. Taylor Heineke came in and got the job done. But to me, it feels like we lost the game more than you wanted. Of course, I'm a Giants fan, and I guess I'm going to feel that way. But I feel like we wasted a lot of opportunities in this game to get a W. But congratulations on the win, man. It was just as big of a game for you guys as it was us. So, good. Obviously, I don't want you to win the rest of the way, but good luck the rest of the way. Jack, man, thank you very much. Damn my pride for keeping me loyal to this team for so long. No one I'd rather suffer with than y'all, though. Don't let this keep you up tonight, Chris. Jack, man, it is what it is. We've been through this now for the last, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years with this team. And in the back of your head, I always try to stay optimistic. And when I'm watching a game, I'll be the first to say I'm the ultimate homer. I'm rooting on my team with everything I got. I don't care if we're going against the undefeated Patriots. I don't care who we're going up against. I am always going to believe that we could find a way to win if certain things go our way. Obviously, leading up into the game, I try to be as unbiased as I possibly can, but I wear my heart on my sleeve with this team. I love this team to death. And I'm going to continue to be that way the rest of the year. But, I'd be lying if I said it's not going to keep me up. But I'll get over it. I'll get over it, man. There's definitely some positives to take out of it. It's just a heartbreaking loss. Dominic, man, thank you very much. Graham focused more on his weight than our D. Sorry, that was rude. Seems that way. The guy looks like a new person, man. He lost a ton of weight. But yeah, maybe we need Fat Graham back. I talked about that the other day on the Hub stream. Alien, man, really thought this season would be different. Shaking my head. We're not off to a good start, and I am not going to be that guy tonight that's going to. I'm not going to tell you to give up on the season because I don't think the season's over in my heart. I really don't. But we're in a tough spot right now. But I'm not going to be that guy tonight that says, oh, well, in 2007, we started 0-2 and we won a Super Bowl. No, I'm not going to tell you that because that was a much different football team. But the season's not over. I really, in my heart, don't believe the season's over. But we're not going down the right path. We're not going down the right path. We needed that game tonight. We really needed that game tonight. RB, man, thank you very much. These losses are on the coaches. Time to put pressure on Judge. No adjustments. We also are undisciplined. That's on Judge for sure. Listen, man. Judge, I like Judge. Or I love Judge, RB. I want to root for Judge. Okay, I was happy when we hired Judge, especially when I heard the opening press conference and everything else. I was pumped up for Judge. Had me ready to run through a wall like several of the other people in this live stream. But at the end of the day, people say that Giant fans make excuses for Daniel Jones. People say, that they make excuses for Saquon Barkley. People are making excuses for Joe Judge. Because everything that you always hear is it's Coach Garrett. That's Garrett. That's Garrett. Who's in charge of Garrett? Who's in charge of this football team? The head coach has to have some responsibility. And when the offense is coming out with conservative game plan after conservative game plan, and today, to their credit, they did not. They opened it up. Would I have liked them to be maybe a little bit more aggressive during the tail end of that game? Sure. But overall, the offense opened it up, especially when you factor in Nick Gates was out. But the defense, like you said, was undisciplined. We had bad penalties. We had a couple. Daniel Jones covered up so many mistakes. I mean, on that drive where we scored the touchdown, so many bad play calls. I think we had a full start on that drive as well. We had two crucial full starts on the drive later in the game where Andrew Thomas had a full start after Darius Slayton dropped the touchdown. It's just brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. And PTH Sports, my man Pest, man, what's going on, man? He just writes, Pest is just screaming in a room right now, and I hope you feel better tonight, man. I hope you get some sleep, but I know you're just as frustrated as me, and I'm sure just as frustrated as everybody else in this room. Prism Mike says, feel bad for Shepard. Dude played his heart out. He always plays his heart out. Sterling Shepard, to me, is one of the most underappreciated New York Giants. The only issue with him is concussions, but when he's on the field, the guy plays his heart out. He's as tough as nails. I love Sterling Shepard. I'm proud he's a New York Giant. The guy always plays his heart out. He gives you everything he's got. Dylan, man, thank you very much. I mean, how brain dead do you got to be to jump off sides as a D lineman on a field goal as if you're touching anything? He choked. That's the only explanation I have for you, Dylan. He choked. And Dexter Lawrence is obviously going to be villainized for this game, as he should be. If he doesn't do that, we win the football game. But there's a lot more to it than just that. I'm not obviously going to just put the full blame on him, but obviously you can't do that there. You don't do that. We're 1-1. Period. Darius Slayton doesn't drop the ball. We're 1-1. If our defense doesn't play like shit, we're 1-1. But we're 0-2. And obviously you can't jump off sides there. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And Joe Judge is supposed to be a special teams guy. Well, JP, man, very much. What's wrong with Bradbury? The first game I thought Bradbury, it was more so just my line of thinking, JP, going into this game. I thought it was more so the defensive philosophy that they were blitzing as much as they did. And they were ultra aggressive, and maybe they shouldn't have been as aggressive as they were, and they were getting picked apart. But today he got undressed. Yeah, he was going up against a great wide receiver. Terry McLaurin's fantastic, and he's great. He's going to get his yards. But there were a lot of plays where he wasn't even close. That touchdown for 11 yards down the seam, he was wide open. I mean, Bradbury wasn't even anywhere near him. And maybe some of that is zone coverage, whatever. But regardless, yeah, Bradbury made one great play today. But outside of that, he ain't getting the job done. He's not playing as well as he did last year. And maybe some of it has to do with the scheme and the philosophy. I don't know, JP King, but he's not off to a good start. Adil, man, thank you very much. Playing against the Chiefs and the Bucs on national TV should be a crime at this point. I think the NFL, Adil, I think the NFL absolutely hates us. Because every time we're on prime time, it seems like we go up against an incredible opponent. Last year, I think we played the Bucs. It's like the NFL tries to embarrass us. Not tonight, but when we're on like Monday Night Football, it just maybe that's just the way I feel. Maybe I'm making that up, but I always feel like we go up against an incredible opponent. And of course, we're playing both the Bucs and the Chiefs on the road today. So say a prayer. Jake, man, thank you very much, man. When it's not Ingram, it's Slayton, only the Giants. Yeah, tonight Slayton's definitely one of the biggest villains of this game. Very, very reminiscent of Evan Ingram. And when you drop that ball, obviously I try to remain optimistic from within the game and hope that they could win. But when you drop that ball, yeah, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, we're probably going to lose. Much like it happened with Evan Ingram. Sean, man, thank you so much, man. Great supporter of the channel. Glad to see you, man. We're the Jets and New Age Browns now. Certified dumpster juice. It feels that way. You know, I come on here and I support my team, and I do my best to, try to keep you guys optimistic like myself and think glass half full, but it's starting to get that way, man. And I hate saying that, man, because I love this team to death. But after a game like this, Sean Bills and 0-2 start, and we spend as much as we do in the offseason the way in which we did it. Yeah, man, I understand why you feel that way. I can't talk you off the ledge there. I understand why you feel that way. Only thing I could tell you is we got 15 more games. And I hope, and the encouraging thing is the offense looked good today. And I do think the offense is only going to get better as the season progresses. But the defense, it's like when one thing improves, the other thing goes to hell. It's very reminiscent of 2017 or 2016, rather, when the defense got much better and the offense went to hell when it was the reverse the year before. It just seems like this team, things just never click at the same time. But hopefully we get some momentum if we can beat Atlanta. We're going to find out how tough this team is after a loss like this. MY Giants 26 said, spent a first-round pick on Tony and never play him. Yeah, I mean, he didn't play much in the preseason, so I didn't expect him to play a ton, but I thought he'd have more of a role than this to start the year. They must just feel he's not ready because of his preseason exposure. I still expect Tony to get more of a role as the season progresses. I think he will ultimately, before the end of this year, probably get the reps that Slayton's getting, especially if Slayton keeps playing the way that he is. I do think that they'll find a way to involve him in this offense, but so far, he hasn't been involved. I really thought they'd use him in the backfield a little bit. They'd get creative. I thought we'd see some wildcat. The one thing I will say is I called for week one. They didn't do it. I like to see the RPO today. I thought that they needed to use Jones's legs week one. They decided to do it this week. That obviously was a huge weapon today. But yeah, obviously I want to see Tony a lot more involved as the season progresses. A little disappointed with that. Keith, man, he says they did just enough to keep their jobs because Mara is a pushover. Not even fun to watch football anymore. Keith, I mean, I don't think no matter what, they could lose 100-0. I don't think they're firing people after just 2 weeks into the season. So, no matter what happened today, I don't think they're going to fire anybody. Maybe, a coordinator, maybe Garrett. I know, but Garrett, you can't fire Garrett after today. The offense looked good. So I don't think they're going to be firing anybody till at least mid-season. If they fire any coaches from within this roster, Judge will not be fired from within season. I doubt Gettleman would be fired from within season. I think they'd make that change at the end of the year if they were going to make it. So I don't expect to see any high-profile firings outside of maybe a coordinator, from within season. After the season, if we keep trending down this path, yeah, you're going to see a lot of firings. Believe me, Keith. Master Man, thank you very much. Man, Chris, I'm hurt. I'm going to cry over a sport. Hey, man, I feel you, man. We put our hearts and soul into this. We love this team to death, And I guess for fanatics, maybe we do. We're fanatics. We get too invested, but we love our team. And when you lose a game like this, it hurts. It hurts. We'll get over it. Trust me, I've been through tougher losses. I'm not going to go over them because I don't want to relive the bad times, but I've been through tougher losses, but this one was tough. Jarrett Barnett, man, thank you very much. Raggedy coached top to bottom. Yeah, I mean, first 2 weeks, Raggedy coached top to bottom. We've been out coached the first 2 weeks. Period. Sebastian, man, thank you very much. One positive thing I could say about all the disaster, Daniel Jones looked like a good quarterback, but Golladay looked a bit upset with him, said, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He's a really good wide receiver. It was a big spot in the game. I don't get to see access to the old 22. I don't know exactly what he was complaining about. Maybe on that route, he thought he was open and he threw to Slayton instead. Maybe it was another play during that drive. Maybe it was to throw to Golladay. I don't know. But it is what it is, man. Hopefully they get on the same page. That's not that crazy when you see a wide receiver and a quarterback, especially when they're not in sync, going at it a little bit on the sideline. And hopefully they continue to build a rapport throughout the year. He was probably just upset because, like he said before the game started, he wants Jones to throw the ball up, even when it's in tight coverage. He knows he's the guy. He's the guy that's supposed to produce. That's my guess. But I'm sure they'll get over it. Phenopolis, man, thank you very much. My heart hurts. Thank you for your content. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate that, Phenopolis. Simon says, man, I never felt such wave of anger and depression. I have with this football team, but this was tough, Simon. I'm not going to lie to you. This was among one of the tougher games. Since I've been on YouTube, this might be this is probably the toughest because we're going into the season with expectations, and this game meant so much. So, yeah, this is up there, man. It's not my number one, but it's up there as one of my toughest ones. There's no doubt about it, man. But Simon, man, thank you very much. Rodney says the rest of the season does not get any easier. I don't know how to feel about this. This was a real heartbreaker. We had that game. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of Giants fans felt the pressure going into this game. When you look ahead, you see how the Saints played week one. You see how the Eagles played week one. You see how the Raiders played week one. And those were teams that you thought maybe were going to be a lot lighter than they were after the first week. And you're looking at it, they're like, maybe those guys weren't as easy as I thought. And then obviously you look at the Chiefs and the Bucks and everybody else. We're going to have to bounce back. I had this as a loss before the year started. I had it as a season split. We play Washington week 17 at the end of the year. And if that game means something, we're going to have to win it. But we got to get there first, and we got to start winning football games. But I'm not giving up on the year yet. No doubt about it. No way am I giving up on the year yet. I know a lot of fans will, especially after a loss like this, and I understand it. 17-game season. There were definitely some good things to take out of it. We need to put it all together. Greg's, man, thank you very much. It's unfortunate this team seems to make strides on each side of the ball, but regresses on the other. Yeah, that's kind of what I just said earlier. And thank you for the incredible generosity. But that's what I said earlier. It's kind of reminiscent of 2015 and 16 when one side of the ball was gelling, and then the next year, and they just never put it all together. anytime the offense does well, the defense suffers and vice versa. Yeah, and even from within individual games, like who's to say week 3 it's not the reverse, you know? So that's what bad football teams do. They just don't put it all together. And hopefully this team needs to hit their stride sooner than later. It's not like last year we're going in. I said, yeah, first half of the year we're going to be bad. We're gonna, it's a young team and a new coach, not a normal offseason. We're gonna be bad. Well, I knew we were gonna be bad the first 8 games. This year, that buffer is much shorter. And I think the buffer is the first 2 games. And that's kind of what I've tried to say. But by losing the first 2 games, this now means that we have to probably win at least 1, if not 2 games that I didn't see us winning this year if we're going to make the playoffs. And hopefully this team starts to turn the corner and hopefully they can find a way to start winning some tough games. But obviously there's going to be a tough 10 days before the Falcons game. We're going to need to bounce back and start winning some games. Maybe we win that game. Maybe it starts to trickle into New Orleans. Who knows? But it's one game at a time. And obviously now the Falcons are an absolute must-win game, man. Anyway, man, thank you very much. I live in California, and now I can't even wear my Giants gear here without getting trolled. I just want a team that I can feel prideful and proud of. Me too, man. Listen, I come on here every day. I come on here every day to talk about this team. And I never thought, I say it all the time, I never thought I would have this many people watching my content talking about the Giants. I did it for fun when I started. I just wanted to get, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I wanted to get her off my mind. So I tried to start a hobby. I just started talking sports, and trust me, man, I come on here every day and I talk about this football team every freaking day. And you guys continue to support me, and I can't say thank you enough for that. But you don't think I want to come on here and celebrate a team that's going 13-4 and going to the playoffs and is a Super Bowl contender? Trust me, I do, man. I do. And, I still love this team. I'm going to continue to love them until the day I die. But we're going through some dark times, man, and we got to get through it together and hope this team gets out of it. If not for within this year, hopefully next year. And eventually, they will turn the corner, but not a good start this year, man. Matthew, man, thank you very much. Why draft Tony and sign Golladay if we're not going to use them? Did Dave Gettleman spend to save his job like Reese did that last offseason? You could definitely argue that, Matthew. I don't think it's identical situations, because especially when you factor in, Matthew, that Gettleman traded down in this year's draft. Because if Gettleman was just thinking about saving his job, I think he would have stayed at 11 and taken the best available player, because trading down to 20 hurts this year's team. It helps the future. So I don't think it's on the same wavelength of what Jerry Reese did. Jerry Reese went out there and signed 3 guys to 5-year contracts, and I think another guy to a 3-year contract. These were more so 3-year commitments. It's not nearly as high of a commitment. I think this was more so the Giants trying to give Daniel Jones the pieces in order to succeed and to truly evaluate him this year. I think that's why they spent on Golladay. That's my honest opinion. I really do believe that. I don't think he was trying to save his job this year. Of course he is. He's, but if he was being selfish and only thinking about this year, I don't think he would have traded down. I don't think it's identical. But obviously we're not in a good spot. I'm not gonna say that we are. Will, man, thank you very much. Most 0-2 starts since 2013 like this should be considered a damn crime for the teams they put on the field over the years. This losing stuff is old. I hate it, Will. I hate it. You know how excited I was to come on? I had a victory shot prepared. I went out there. I bought Jack Daniel's Honey, man, and I was excited. I'm hopefully I get to do it next week. But I was excited to come on here, celebrate a win with you guys, party for 3 hours or whatever, how long I go live, and get to talk about it with you guys and be so excited going into the Falcons game. And I truly felt we were gonna, especially once Bradbury got that interception, I thought we were gonna win this game. Just didn't work out, man. And that's what happens, man. Good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find ways to lose. And right now we're a bad team. Dominic, man, thank you very much. Trying to stay positive because we did a lot of good things and we are in the NFC East, but this was frustrating. Blame Garrett. Play to win and not to lose. Yeah, here's the thing, Dominic. First off, Graham is I know Giant fans hate Garrett, and I'm not trying to defend Garrett, even though I don't think Garrett called is nearly as bad of a game as he normally does. I thought they took some shots down the field today. They were actually aggressive on offense, and I like that they opened up the running game with Daniel Jones. But in terms of the decision on, say, 4th and 2 to kick that field goal, I don't put that on Garrett. I put that on Judge on 4th and 2. That's Judge's decision. That's not Garrett's decision. Garrett didn't get an opportunity to call a play because Judge didn't put the offense back out there. He elected to kick the 55-yarder, which of course is an understandable decision. But if you go for it and you pick that up, you probably ice the game, or a much higher probability you win the game. As far as the decision when we recovered the interception, the first down, the run, completely understandable. Second down, I would have preferred a pass. I would have preferred more aggression there on that second down play, for sure. But I am not going to put near the main blame in this game on Jason Garrett. I'm not saying I want Garrett to stay here. I'm not saying I like Garrett, but there's like 8 people I blame before Jason Garrett tonight. Probably like 30 people I blame before Jason Garrett tonight. I don't think he called an atrocious game. You can't always use him as the punching bag. Amid, man, thank you very much. Hot seat time for Judge. Get rid of Garrett. 2 run plays in the red zone. Cut Slayton Ingram 2.0. Yeah, I mean, Garrett, I think Garrett's going to get replaced at some point this year. We'll see if the offense builds off of this, but I'm sure it's possible he could lose his job or lose his play calling duties at some point. It's not going to happen just 2 weeks in, though, especially being that we put up 29 points against Washington and the offense did look good tonight overall. That's not going to happen. Slayton, I think, will get a reduced role throughout the year. I really do believe that. And Mark, man, thank you very much. Chris, thank you. The draft was a joke, and it's Dave Gettleman. Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say, Mark. I mean, this is my issue with what Gettleman did. This is my issue with what Gettleman did in the draft this year. And when they made the trade, I was happy. I love the value. I thought we got great value. But here's my issue with what Gettleman did. If I was Dave Gettleman, this offseason was all about helping Daniel Jones out as much as you possibly could. You went out there and you were so aggressive in free agency. You brought in the best cornerback. You brought in the best wide receiver. You brought in maybe the second or third best, probably the third best tight end. You spent a lot of money in free agency, which was to accelerate the process this year and try to help out Daniel Jones in year 3. So here's my issue. By passing on Slater, which everybody knows that that's the guy I wanted, and I don't like to say – I know people may not like me talking about hypotheticals and whatever, but I wanted Slater, and I'm going to, that's who I wanted. I wanted Slater. By passing on Slater, to me, if Jones fails, you got to use both those picks to trade up for a quarterback anyway. So if you didn't believe enough in Jones to draft Slater and give yourself a buffer to potentially trade up and get another quarterback, well, then you should have just drafted a quarterback. That's my take. If you're going to go all in on Jones, go all in on Jones. If you have an opportunity to draft Rashawn Slater, who right now looks like a stud, he's top 7 prospect in the draft, take him. That was my take after the draft, after I thought about everything. The trade was great, and if Jones doesn't work out, we'll have the ability to trade up and definitely will help the acceleration of the rebuild. But I don't like going half and half. That's my take. 24 seconds, man. Thank you very much. CJ Board and Slayton need to be fined for that game. Yeah, CJ Board with the penalty. That was a debatable penalty, wasn't it? I mean, I got to see the replay 24 seconds. I didn't get to hear the live commentary because I call the game. I didn't get to, hear other people's opinions on it. To me, that looked like a Fugazi penalty. Like, I don't know, man. I felt like that was a bullshit call, to be honest with you. I thought they should have called that a touchdown for Jones and it was called back. But again, when I get to watch it tomorrow, maybe I'll have a different opinion. Slayton's got to catch the ball, and he's got drop problems, and we need to start to realize that as a fan base. Connor, man, thank you very much, man. I'm embarrassed to be a fan of this team. You should be. We've won, I think we've won about 6 games since 1964. So you should be embarrassed right now. And it's going to be, it's going to be fulfilling finally, Connor, when we do get good, because you're going to get to say you stuck with it through the tough times, and it finally turned the corner. But right now it's tough, man. We're in the darkest times the New York Giants have had since the 70s, and by far the darkest times they've ever had in my lifetime. But I'm going to push through, man. I'm going to continue to support this team, and hopefully they reward me eventually. But I'm going to start to be critical of this team this year. There's no doubt about it. I've definitely been light on them. I've tried to be as patient as I can and express patience because I know New York is a town that does not embrace rebuilds. They're not a patient city, and I understand it. We want winners. We spend a lot of money to go to our games. We spend more money than anybody else. We're impatient. We want winning. I've tried to express patience since I've been on this channel, and it's made me look like a fool if this team doesn't work out this year. I'll be the first to say it. And believe me, when I make my rant video, if it comes to that point, I'll talk about it. I've tried to support this team as best as I could during a rebuild phase and really tried to buy into what they were trying to do. And to see what this team has become, it's sad, man. It really is. You put your heart and soul for 2 or 3 years into this plan and hope that they're doing things right. And right now, it doesn't look that way, man. Robbie, man, thank you very much. Chris, talk me off the ledge. My heart is in pieces. Robbie, I'm sorry to hear that, man. As far as your heart being in pieces, man, listen, it's going to take a couple of days, Robbie. And you love your team, and that's great, man. That just shows how much you love your team. It's going to take a few days to get over this. There's no doubt about it. You might not even get over it till we play the Falcons and hopefully get a win. But the team will eventually get better. And, I mean, like I said, the most important person this season is Daniel Jones. And if there's one big positive to take out of this game, it's just that. And he did nothing to lose this game. He did everything he possibly could for the most part to win it. So I think that's a big positive to take out of this game. I do think, and we need to see more. It's just one game. I'm not telling you that I'm convinced yet, but we need to see more growth off of this. We need to see more building off of this. But I do think Daniel Jones showed you a lot in this football game. And I do think he made a lot of big plays. And I think that is the big positive to take out of this game. That's the big positive I'm going to take out of this game. I'll tell you that right now. And Barkley, Barkley looked all right. We started to use him a little bit more in the passing game. The defense, though, is super negative, man. I have very little to say about the defense in terms of positivity. To me, the only Gano and Daniel Jones to me are the two huge positives to take out of this game. I can't pronounce that. It's Itrod Jakowski. Sickeningly cowardly coaching tonight. So disheartening. Yeah, man. It was similar. I even said it during the live stream. I would have went for it on the 4th and 2. I would have went for it on the 4th and 2 because I had a lot more faith in Jones winning that game tonight than I had the defense. And I knew even if we made the field goal, they had a good chance to score a touchdown because the defense wasn't stopping anybody tonight. So that was that. I would have went for it there. It might have been 4th and 3. I don't know where it was spotted. And if you don't get it, I think it's at the 37 and you're only up 3. But at that point, man, I'm trying to pick up that first down. I'm putting faith in my quarterback, especially the way that Daniel Jones was slinging it tonight, man. The threat that he is in the run game as well. I would have given him an opportunity to win that game just because of how poor the defense was playing. It wasn't like you were handing the ball over to a defense that is the defense we expect this year. If the defense was playing well, you take the 3. You attempt the 55-yard field goal. But the way the defense was playing tonight, man, I would have went for it. In the moment, you're like, all right, they made the 55-yarder. You're happy. They go up by 6. You're like, all right, the defense just holding the 3. But if I was the coach there and as a fan, I wanted them to give Daniel Jones an opportunity to pick up that first down. Blue Man, thank you very much. I really want paper bags on heads right next game. If they lose, I think it's coming game 4. Usab, man, thank you very much. Eric Bieniemy for head coach 2022. Now, we'll see. I mean, he's obviously been a guy. I mean, I don't even want to give up on Judge yet. It's only 2 games, man. But we'll see. I'm sure he's going to be a hot candidate, right? He was a guy that, a lot of people thought would get a job this past year, didn't get one. I'm sure he's going to be one of the hot coaches on the as potential hires. But I still think Judge will be our coach in 2022. But we'll see as the year progresses. I'm not saying he will or won't. It's not a good start for him. Mike, man, thank you very much. We have a lot of positives to look at. However, this was sickening. When you see a flag on DJ on the scramble and the Slayton drop, are we cursed? It feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? Mike, it does. It feels that way sometimes, man. What goes wrong, what can go wrong, will go wrong. That's the way it feels as a New York Giant fan. It is. That's the way it feels as a New York Giant fan, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It feels that way, man. It does. And Luka Dog, man, thank you very much. Jones played great, carried the team on his back. This might have been Jones' top 3 performance since he's been in the NFL. I mean, and it's not like he's playing a joke of a defense. When he played Washington in the past, it was a bad defense. This is a good defense. People can say what they want. They only give 20 points to Justin Herbert week 1. This is a good defense. They may not be as good as people were making them out to be before the year started when people were saying they're the best defense, but they're definitely a good defense. And this is probably the best performance Daniel Jones has had against a good defense. He had a better performance than Herbert did against them. He did. He put up more points. Should have put up 36 points. He had a good performance. Chicago Giants fan, man, thank you very much. Painful loss, probably one of the worst in the last decade. The coaches played to lose. The Giants should have put this game away. Inexcusable. Yeah. The coaches were pussies, man. Offensively and, defensively more so. They played very not aggressive in the entire first half. I got playing not as aggressive as the previous week because they kind of got torn up because of that. But it was too much laying back, too much zone, too much letting Heineke pick you apart. You're going up against the backup quarterback. And the most disheartening thing was the first 2 drives, it seemed like we were getting good pressure. and then it kind of just went away. And we're just playing back and we're letting them go down the field. And again, I'll watch the game back, but that's just my initial thoughts of the game. Luis, man, thank you very much. The New York Football Mets finding new ways to lose and disappoint. The season is over in 2 games. It's been abysmal for years. We are the Mets. I'm a Met fan, so I could definitely relate to that. And yeah, this is about, we're actually worse than the Mets, if you're being honest, over the last 4 or 5 years. The Mets went to a World Series in 2015. Mets have been over 500 the last couple of years. So we're actually worse than the Mets. We're lower than the Mets right now. Benjamin, man, thank you so much for the incredible generosity, man. I really appreciate it. This is tough loss for you guys. I honestly thought you guys were going to win. I was thinking in the last 15 minutes, if the Browns pervert postponed his goddamn Thursday night cuddling session with his man, Brandon Rodgers, you guys might actually have beat the no-namers. Yeah, Brendan. I appreciate all the support you always show on the channel, man. Thank you very much. And I know you and I guess you seem to have a beef right now with Brandon Rodgers. Arlen, man, thank you very much. Just call me Will. Watching this loss was terrible, but I can't imagine us making mistakes on all 3 levels like this again soon. Yeah, I mean, that's the way you got to look at it, Arlen, right? I mean, if you're trying to remain optimistic and stay in the fight and hope this team can start to turn it around, there's definitely building blocks from the game. But if the coaching staff doesn't get their heads out of their ass and the defense doesn't start playing a lot better, this season may go south real fast. And obviously the offensive line now with Nick Gates going down is a major question mark. There's definitely reason to be pessimistic, and more reason to be pessimistic than optimistic. But I'm not giving up yet. Just like you are, I'm not giving up yet. Jay, man, thank you very much. Don't even rewatch that trash. Probably not worth my time. Jay, you're probably right. Not worth my time, man. Robbie, man, thank you very much. Thoughts on Golladay screaming at Jones, OBJ part 2? Yeah, I mean, I got to get the context of that, Robbie, and hopefully that comes out. I'm sure they're going to be asked about it. I'm sure Golladay and Jones will be asked about it. They probably won't give you a real answer. I don't know. It's probably just a frustrated wide receiver. We all know that wide receivers, they're alphas. They always want the ball in the big spot. He probably, he said before the game started this week that he wanted Daniel Jones to throw up the ball regardless of how tight the coverage was and give him an opportunity to come down with the football. And he probably felt, listen, I'm the number 1 option in that spot. You look to me. That's my guess. I don't know that. Maybe Daniel Jones misread the field. I don't know. And maybe, maybe I'll get my answer tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm not going to read too much into it. It's 2 weeks in. I think it's frustration. Got, a big spot in the game. He was yelling at him. I don't think it was super over the top, but definitely a little bit of aggression there on the sidelines. Jonathan, man, thank you very much. Man, Chris, just really upset with the team, especially with the defense that we all believe would be top 10, but it was just all hype. Also, feed my man Golladay draw up plays for him to get open. Yeah, Jonathan, I mean, I was waiting, and of course, we're all super frustrated with the defense. I thought we'd be top 10 for sure. We still could be, but it's not looking that way. I was calling for it. I actually called the play. I said it's time to throw Golladay a bomb, and they finally did it. I think it was like the first play of a drive in the 3rd quarter. I don't remember. But I said they should do it here, and they did. But I'm with you, man. And again, I don't know the final stat line. I don't know the targets for Golladay. I do think maybe he should have gotten a few more targets throughout the game. Let me take a quick look, actually. Jones threw 32 passes. Shepard had 9 catches, 94 yards. Golladay had 3 catches. Yeah, he wasn't involved enough. 3 catches for 38 yards. They got to get him more involved, man. Now I will say they tried to get him involved in the red zone. If you remember, they threw 2 straight passes to him. One drew a pass interference penalty. But yeah, man, they got to get him more involved. They absolutely got to get him more involved. Christopher, man, thank you very much. Why do we waste 1st-round picks on Tony and not use him at all? It's still early. It's only 2 games into his career. If we're being fair, he didn't play throughout the entire preseason. Hopefully, they're going to start to integrate him more into the offense. But I'm just as agitated as you are, Christopher. I want to see him out on the football field. 1st-round pick, a guy that could add a different element to this offense. I want to see him out there just as much as you do. Trust me, I do. And hopefully they get him a bigger role. Ethan, man, thank you very much. With the high picks and coaching turnover that happened at the same time, we now see the cracks and poor foundation. It's a poorly built team. Yeah. I say it all the time, Ethan. You build your foundation from the offensive line. You build your foundation from the offensive line. And until we get that foundation situated and we get the quarterback we could truly trust going forward, we're not going to have that foundation. So I'm in agreement with you, man. We don't have a foundation right now. We have a lot of what ifs. We have a lot of potential. We have guys that could become part of a foundation, but we do not have a foundation right now. Mark, man, thank you very much. Chris, Dalvin and BJ were more key than you think. Yeah, the thing with BJ is I don't think he was ever going to get to play here. That's why I didn't really mind that trade. Dalvin, I will say, not so much this game. The first game, it was very apparent to me that he was missed. Very apparent to me that it was missed. When I saw Danny Shelton missing tackles, I thought our interior defensive line, in terms of getting pressure, was good, but in terms of the run defense, was lackluster. Week number 1, I did notice it a lot. In the first game, BJ Hill, he played well with Cincinnati, but I just don't think he was ever going to get a real opportunity to get on the field with the Giants. Dominic, man, thank you very much. Golladay can't get open. Yeah, I mean, you got to throw it up, though. I mean, he's 6'4". He's one of the best tight, in terms of being able to catch tightly contested passes in football. That's what we brought him in here to do. But at the same time, part of that's the play calling, and part of that is Daniel Jones' trust to throw it up to him. And hopefully they continue to build that trust throughout the year. But obviously, he's not known as like this incredible route runner. G Nation, man, thank you very much. He fractured his shin, Chris. I made a video on it. Oh, yeah. So I didn't know the exact specifications of the injury. So Nick Gates fractured. Yeah, I'm G Nation. I think he's gonna be out for a while. AJ, man, thank you very much. Why are we still light judges? I don't know what you mean by that. Why are we still light judges? If you mean if we're being light on Judge, I'm not. I've come down on Judge the first 2 weeks of this season. And even before the season, I was coming down on Judge more so than most people in the Giants YouTube community on podcast, at least that I listen to. I think that people were pumping the pom-poms too much for Judge before the year started. I saw so many people on Twitter, anytime something that they thought was good happened, they'd give credit to Judge. Anytime something bad would happen, they'd blame Gettleman. It's not the way it works. If you're going to give credit to Judge for something, you got to give him blame for something you don't like. So if that's what you're asking about, I think that's going to start to change real fast if this team doesn't start winning football games. Honeymoon phase is over. MY Giants 26, he says, Slayton could only catch when he uses his body. Yeah, he's not a great route runner. He doesn't create a lot of separation. He's basically just a straight line runner for the most part. Occasionally he'll catch a deep slant. Yeah, to me, the drops are just too big of a problem for me right now, man. Allison, thank you very much. Hey, Chris, promote Sills, Pettis, or another wide receiver. I mean, if they were going to promote a wide receiver, Allison, I would guess it'd be Colin Johnson. We brought him in. He's a pretty accomplished wide receiver. He made the initial 53-man roster. If we were going to bring one of them up, I would guess he'd be the guy. But I don't see them, delegating Darius Slayton to the practice squad. I could just see his role starting to get reduced. But if they were going to call anybody up, I think it'd be Colin Johnson. And Lee, man, thank you very much. Judge talks about being a tough, hard-nosed football team. Then we play soft on defense. We played scared on both sides of the football tonight, especially defense. Played scared puppy dogs. First game as well, played scared. Especially offensively the first game. We played scared. We played not to lose. And it wasn't as much today. We definitely opened it up today. We definitely took more shots. But in certain spots in the game, you got to be a little bit more aggressive. You look around the league. You look at these teams, how they close out games, especially the way our defense was playing. You had to give the offense an opportunity to close out the game. Jared, man, thank you very much. It was just Shep and DJ that carried our offense. That's for damn sure. I'm trying to, and yeah, Shep had almost 100 yards again. Outside of the one big run by Barkley, he didn't do much. He had a nice block. There was one player, I remember when he had a nice blitz pickup block, which was nice to see. I know a lot of people, knock him for that. But yeah, I would say, and not that I'm bashing. I still, like I said, going into the game, I didn't think Barkley was going to be 100% yet. I think he needs to still get his legs underneath him. Week 3, I expect him to really take a major step up. We'll see when he has 10 days worth of rest. But yeah, Shep and DJ were the whole offense tonight. And the defense, outside of the one pick by Bradbury, didn't do a whole hell of a lot. Yeah, I mean, I know old Jolari got a nice sack at the beginning. Carter got a nice pressure. Not much else. I thought Adoree Jackson, and again, I got to go back and watch the game, but I thought Adoree Jackson actually played pretty well on defense. Energy Force, man, thank you very much. Chris, it hit him in the freaking hands, both hands. And I see people in Bad Dog Stream at the end of it telling me, oh, Jones missed through the pass. It was a little too far in front of him. Bullshit. Jones couldn't step into the throw. He got rocked as he threw it. You got to help your quarterback. Not every throw in the NFL is going to be perfect. It hit both of his freaking hands. Lay out and help your quarterback. I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it. Energy Force. Abe, man, thank you very much. Tale of 2 seasons with the D. Just can't understand the drop-off from last year's performance. I just don't think they're – I don't know, Abe. I honestly don't know. It might be the new pieces on the defense, and they're still learning to play with one another from within the scheme that Patrick Graham is trying to dial up. Maybe it'll take a few more weeks to get things going, but not a good start, man, Abe. And last year they exceeded expectations. I'm hoping this year they don't, miss them, but it's not a good start. Joe, man, thank you very much. I was at the game. There was no flag anywhere on the Colback Jones touchdown until after the celebration. It was a crap call, so pissed. Yeah, Joe, listen, when I was watching on TV, and again, I don't hear the broadcasters because I'm the guy calling the game. To me, it looked like a bogus penalty. I know, it looked like Board maybe got a little bit, but I don't know, man. It looked like the defender was just as equally guilty in terms of the holding. To me, that was a nonsense call. That should have been called back. Daniel Jones should have been credited with a touchdown run there. But it is what it is. Joe Span, thank you very much. Maris sold his soul for those 2 championships. Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm super depressed, I think about those 2 championships. I'm like, well, we got those. And those were basically like lottery tickets, especially the first one, the way that we won it. And I'm like, well, I got to experience that. But you're always hungry for more, man. You're always hungry for more. And you never want to see your team going through days like this. AR7, man, thank you very much. My girlfriend said, relax. It's just a game. I almost lost it. Hey, man, right now, I mean, they don't get it, AR. They don't get it. They don't get how invested we are in this football team, how much we love this football team, and completely understandable. We're nuts. I'll be the first to say it. You guys watch my content in May when football doesn't start for 3 months. You guys are nuts. I'm nuts. I'm talking about it. We're all nuts. We love this team to death. So she doesn't understand that, and I get it. But that's where we're at. Serotonin, man, thank you very much. Kadarius Toney is so elusive that the coaches can't even find him to put on the field. That's pretty good, Serotonin. That's pretty good, my man. Mike, man, thank you very much. He says, just got here. Please tell me you've been getting on the defense. Mike, I've been destroying the defense. And by the way, anybody that's donated, I'm sorry if I'm getting to you later. I'm doing it on the YouTube because there's just too many people in here and I don't get to the super chats if I'm looking on my phone. So I am reading every single donation I'm getting. So I will get to it eventually. If you guys got to go to bed, obviously I understand. I'm sorry if I don't get to it before you go to bed. But he says, I just got here. Tell me you've been getting on the defense. The defense is pathetic. The defense is an absolute joke. They give up 30 points to Tyler Heineke. Give 30 points to Tyler Heineke. They give up a touchdown on 2 plays on a 75-yard drive. Yeah, I'm getting on the freaking defense, man. They look good for like a quarter. The third quarter, they look good. Outside of that, it was a pathetic performance, and they did nothing to help out their quarterback. When you really think about how good Daniel Jones played, think about this. Daniel Jones should have 36 points. We all recognize that. Darius Slayton catches the touchdown, 36 points. And if he had any help from his defense, he might have posted a 40 spot on the Washington football team. If they created any turnovers, if they flipped the field position in any way, shape, or form, we would have put up over 40 points tonight against the Washington football team. But this defense gave him no help whatsoever. The defense was a disgrace, just like week 1. G-Nation, and it was worse tonight. G-Nation, man, thank you very much. Smash that like, guys. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Jolton, man, thank you very much. Giants sold their souls for their 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, they did. And Mike, man, thank you very much. Let's talk about Shepard. Looks like a different receiver this year. You're 100% right. Daniel Jones played out of his mind. Mike, man, I appreciate that. Shepard's been bowling, man, and I thought Shepard was going to have a great year this year. I truly did when he got the opportunity to play in the slot. I think that's where he's at his best. Obviously, adding Kenny Golladay, adding these weapons is only going to help propel him in terms of being a better wide receiver. And obviously, he's got chemistry with Jones, being that he played with him last year. But yeah, so far, Shepard's been on the money. We need everybody to be on the money. But this offense, as crazy as it may sound, and I even said it after week 1, I thought the offense looked better than I thought it would. I know they didn't put up any points. I know that we had the crucial turnovers, but I saw things in the offense that I liked. I saw the pass block. I was like, all right, that's pretty good. I saw some things in the offense that I liked week 1. Tonight, definitely exceeded my expectations going up against this defense. So if there's one thing to like, it's the offense, but the defense is screwing it up. And Isaiah, man, what's going on? White chocolate, thank you for this. Damn, this hurts. Hurts me just as much as it does you guys. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the 1,200 people that are here right now that are listening to me rant about this football team. I mean, you guys helped me more than you think. So thank you guys. Skills, man, thank you very much. It looked like Lawrence timed that snap just perfectly on the field goal. Not sure about the flag. Love the post-game streams. Keep it up, man. Skills, I appreciate that, buddy. I have to see the replay. But at least from what I saw, and I was so emotional when it happened, you just see flag and you see it was on Lawrence. Like, you don't even like whatever. I got to watch it back, but it looked like he was offsides to me. Mark, man, thank you very much, man, for the $2 donation, man. I really appreciate that, buddy. John Smith, he says, I literally feel like I'm living in a simulation. Is anything even real? The way we lose are literally more dramatic than a movie script. Well, a lot of the times, John, we just get blown out and we play like absolute crap. But then we find ways to lose like this from time to time. Optimistically, we played a team close at least, and we didn't get blown out and it wasn't completely embarrassing. But losses like this obviously hurt a lot more. When you lose and it's 40-0, at halftime, you're like, all right, this is just abysmal. I'm going to be depressed for the rest of the day, but I'll get over it. When you lose in a fashion like this and you have to wait 10 days before your next game, it hits home, man. There's no doubt about it. Octave, man, thank you very much. What a shame, considering I think this was the best game I think I've seen Daniel Jones play. I agree with you. And if it's not, because people say the Bucs game, and I get it. The Bucs game was incredible. He had the moment. But if I remember correctly, I think Jones turned the ball over at least twice in that game. And he was going against the Bucs. The defense that year wasn't very good. This was what is supposed to be a good defense. And week 1, they showed that they were. I know that the Chargers put up 400 yards on them, but they only gave 20 points to the Chargers. Justin Herbert, a lot of people think they're going to have an explosive offense this year. When you factor in the opponent, if you look at a lot of Daniel Jones's good performances in the past, it was against very bad defenses. Tonight, he went up against at least an average defense. Like, if you want to be the most pessimistic Giant fan in the world, at least an average defense. I think, obviously, an above-average defense. And he played his ass off with no help. Didn't have much in terms of a ground game outside of himself. Had no help from the defense. This was literally a game that you could say, yes, Daniel Jones put the team on his back. The team just didn't back him up. Jason, man, thank you very much. DJ played super well. I'm not even mad at Slayton. The drop sucks, but I'm not fuming at him. The amount of penalties absolutely killed me. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely very upset with Slayton. And just because it's been too reoccurring. He had 2 drops last game. He had the drop in the preseason game. He had a lot of drops last year. I don't put this on him. I don't put it on any single individual. There's just too much blame to go around. I don't just singularly put it on Dexter Lawrence. I don't just put it on Darius Slayton, but I'm mad at him. I put some of it on Patrick Graham. I put some of it on the coaching. Like, there's blame to go around. There's individual defensive players, James Bradbury. So that we didn't get much of a pass rush. Leonard Williams, he's starting to get paid. He's got to produce. There's blame to go around. But he's definitely a big part of that blame. AJ, man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Bro, you were avoiding criticizing Judge. I have not avoided criticizing Judge at all. Joe Judge up to this point has sucked this year. I'm not avoiding criticizing Judge at all. Joe Judge has sucked so far for the New York Giants. And the honeymoon phase is over. I'm a guy that promotes, trying to keep it intact, not having a lot of change. The Giants have flipped coach after flipping coach after flipping coach. I don't want to have to flip another coach after 2 years. But if they keep playing like this and they keep sucking, he's going to be without a job. Joe Judge has sucked the first 2 games. Sucked. The first game with the challenge flag, that was inexcusable. In my opinion, he makes questionable decisions from within the game. The team's not prepared in terms of being fundamentally sound. Joe Judge's not off to a good start this year. I'm not going to call a fire him after 2 games, but he's not off to a good start this year. And I'm going to be tougher on Jones this year. The honeymoon phase is over. I'm going to be tougher on Jones. I'm going to be tougher on everybody this year. There's more pressure this year. So yeah, I am not being easy on Judge. And I feel like I've been tougher on Judge than most people that I listen to, like I said earlier in the stream, before the season started. I felt like people were way too high on Judge. And I warn people of that because when you build somebody up to be a superhero and nothing could go wrong and he's great and he's, whatever, people build people up to knock him down. And when that air balloon gets deflated, he's going to get destroyed. So, yeah, no, Judge has been bad. Matt, man, thank you very much, man, for the 99-cent donation. And AJ, man, I appreciate the incredible generosity. And Dharma, man, thank you very much, man. Defense looked winded, no pressure at the end. D Slay shaking my head. Yeah, I mean, the defense didn't. The defense looked winded because the defense sucked. That's why. Like, it was the same thing as week 1. Like, people blame the offense for the defense being winded. No. Week 1, the defense was winded because of the defense. The defense couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. Defense gave up 3 4th downs. They gave up 8-minute drives, 7-minute drives in the first half. The offense held the ball for an hour in real time against the New York Giants defense and this is the 2nd straight week, by the way. I didn't even mention this. This is the 2nd straight week that the defense gave up a touchdown at the end of the half. Think about that. The team goes into halftime the last 2 weeks, giving up a touchdown with seconds to play. Last week they had it at the 48 they had it at the half midfield with 48 seconds left. They give up a touchdown. Same thing today. Pathetic. Robert, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Good night, Chris. Great job tonight. I appreciate it, Robert. Peter, man, thank you very much. I can't believe you're live right now. I want to tear my house to shreds right now. You should. I think there's a lot of people right now that want to tear their house to shreds. Emerson, man, thank you very much. Everyone relax. It's only 2 games, and the offense is looking much better. I agree with that, Emerson, and I apologize if I got to this late. I agree with that. I do think the offense is looking much better. The defense needs to step it up, but they're the easiest one to improve. I hope you're right, man. I had much higher expectations for this defense, and we're going to be going up against better offenses. We're playing Dallas in 3 weeks. We're playing the Saints, who look damn good, put up 38 on the Packers. Even the Falcons have good offense. They don't play defense. So we're going up against better better offenses. Falcons have a horrible defense, but I hope you're right, man, because if the defense don't get better, we're not winning much this year. And Mike, man, thank you very much. Honestly, this team has the potential to win or 5 to 6 wins straight. We can go toe-to-toe with Kansas City if DJ plays like that tonight and the D shows up. I got to see a lot more before I could say that, Mike. I mean, Kansas City's great. I got to see a lot more before I think we could even compete with them. But I guess it's a step in the right direction. The offense played well tonight. It's a step in the right direction in terms of the offense. I would not say that. I don't even think we're close to Kansas City right now. I can't imagine our defense getting off the field against them. So we got to get a lot better before we're even able to step on the same field as them. But the offense, to your point, definitely looks much better than I thought it would. Pete, man, thank you very much. Graham regretting not taking those head coaching interviews. Yeah, I mean, he would have been the coach of the Jets right now. But yeah, his in terms of his stock to be a head coach, that's definitely fallen so far this year. There's no doubt about it, Pete. But thank you, man. Grim says this is organizational. Mara's an abomination. Judge coaches not to lose. Garrett is trash. Where is Dave Gettleman drafted talent? No difference makers. Grim, it starts with the man at the top. It starts with the man at the top. And that's Mara. And a lot of fans don't point their venom towards him. Mara's the reason we're in this position right now. And anybody with a brain knows that. Obviously, Gettleman's not good, but we don't end up with Gettleman. We don't end up with Pat Shurmur if we could go back to 2015 and do the right thing. And the other issue I always have that I always say is, why did you let Pat Shurmur draft the quarterback if you knew you were going to fire him if he won 5 games that year? You literally drafted a quarterback that was meant to play in Pat Shurmur's scheme, and you fired the guy the next year. I have no issue firing Pat Shurmur as a bad head coach. But if you knew that you could possibly fire him, if you knew you were going to be starting a rookie quarterback, why would you allow him to handpick your future franchise quarterback? Anybody got an answer for me? Because I don't have it. It all stems from Mara. Mara's the main problem with this team. Isaac, man, thank you very much. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'll give up Peppers and Dexter for OBJ back right now. This team is just painful. Yeah, I don't know how much of an impact OBJ would have on this team because the defense is just absolutely pathetic. But Peppers have been bad. Dex obviously was a main reason why we lost this game today. So I don't know, man. And Damaged Goods, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, where's Tony and Ross? RD will get better, bro. It can't get worse. And I agree with you. I thought it was going to get better tonight. I agree. I think it will get better. But if it don't, we're in big trouble. Ross is hurt right now. Ross has been on the IR. So he's hurt right now. Skywalker, man, thank you very much. I never want to see soft zone again. You're going to see zone. Every defense runs zone. I just don't want to see them as passive as they've been. I think they have to find a happy medium, and I think they have to game plan better for their week-to-week opponent. I think they've been out-coached and out-game planned the first 2 weeks. Devin, man, thank you very much. I'm a DJ Stan, so you will see me every week standing up for him. Where is Leo after that big contract? Adoree. Defense looks terrible. Yeah, I mean, again, I got to watch back the game. Adoree didn't stand out to me as being one of the terrible players today. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a couple plays where he was really bad that I'm forgetting. Leo is just not showing up. Leonard Williams is just not showing up. He's not doing enough. If he is showing up, he's not doing enough. James Bradbury, outside of the pick, was horrific tonight. He's not showing up. And those guys last year showed up. And if they don't show up, we're not going to win football games. For sure. DJ, I'm with you, man. I'm starting to want to support this kid more and more and more. And I hope he continues to progress and get better and better and better. I feel bad for that kid tonight because he played his friggin' ass off, man. A lot of people think like I don't like DJ. I get that every once in a while in my comments, and there's a lot of people that think like I stand for him. I don't think I stand for him. I think I'm pretty fair with DJ. I think I'm critical of him when he deserves to be criticized, but I'm not giving up on the kid. But man, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite players on this team because I do think people are looking for him to fail, and he doesn't have much help on this football team, and he put the team on his back tonight, man. Bernardo, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, not sure I can do this anymore, Tana. It's been like this since 2017. Staying up late, putting up so much time on this team. Football should not make my life even more stressed. Bernardo, man, I know where you're coming from, man. I do. I know where you're coming from, man. It is stressful. All I can tell you is, man, I'm not going away. So if I help you a little bit, hopefully I help you a little bit to talk and whatever. I'm not going away. I'm always going to talk about this football team. I'm always going to bring my passion talking about this football team, and I'm always going to have my heart invested. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not going away. But I understand where you're coming from, man. I completely the way this team rips our heart out. I completely understand where you're coming from with what you say, man. But I appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. Let me just see what we got. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. That was Bernardo. Just going to go back just because it's hard for me to keep up with these, man. You guys are incredible, by the way. Thank you to everybody who showed up and all the support you guys always show. And I'm sorry we played the way we did tonight. Zahai, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, no, authentic. Right now, it doesn't look like we won the trade. Doesn't look like we won the trade. We'll see how OBJ plays. I don't know. I don't even know how he played week 1, but we didn't win the trade. It's not like they killed us in the trade, but we didn't win the trade. Zai, man, thank you very much. I just got on, man. Need therapy. What's your thoughts? I'm hitting the panic button. I'm trying my best to give you guys therapy. I'm trying my best to talk my way. I'm trying to give myself therapy off that performance and off the way we lost tonight, Zaib. I'm trying my best, man. The main thing that I take out of this from a optimistic standpoint, if that's what you want to hear, Daniel Jones. That by far the biggest positive in this game tonight, which is the most important player on our football team, and to me is the biggest thing that we're trying to evaluate this year. I thought he took a major step tonight against a good defense. So if that helps you calm down a little bit, hopefully it does. The defense continues to be an absolute mess. John, man, thank you very much. I need to know why Graham continues to call soft zone. I need to know why our defense continues to look confused. Blake was lining everyone up after the huddle. Leo is a no-show. Can't beat his assignments. I need to know that too. I need to know why this defense has been as bad as they've been these first 2 weeks. And it's not rust. It's not like we have any injuries to that defense. I know Adoree Jackson had like a slightly sprained ankle, but it's not like the offense where Golladay missed all the time. Tony missed all the time. Barkley's coming off the ACL. The defense, everybody's ready to rock. That's why it's concerning, man. And I need to know it too. And I think some of it definitely falls on Patrick Graham for sure. I'm not going to say all of it. The players have to perform, but Patrick Graham deserves a lot of blame right now for the way this defense has looked through 2 weeks. And so does Joe Judge. He's the head coach. I never like it when people just put the blame on a coordinator because who's in charge of the coordinator? The head coach. And so that it's the same thing I do with Garrett. Like people just put the blame on Garrett. Who's in charge of Garrett? Like if you don't think that Joe Judge has a lot of say on everything that goes on with this football team, a guy that's as detailed as he is, you're out of your mind. So I'm not just putting the blame on Patrick Graham in terms of the coaching. I think Judge deserves some responsibility as well. Just like if the defense plays well, I give Judge some of the credit as well. Chizola, man, thank you very much. I am happy we scored 29. Offense on the up. Yeah, I mean, that's it should have been 36, by the way, if Slayton catches that touchdown. Alien, man, thank you very much. We literally traded a W for an L because of that flag. Yeah. I mean, there's so many other reasons why we lost this game. But yes, that flag cost us the game. We win if he doesn't jump off sides and we don't, and I'm taking shots and we're celebrating and we're screaming and we're forgetting about how shitty this defense played and we're looking forward to Atlanta. That's the NFL. That's why people love it. It's a game of inches. It's a game where everything's on the line. Every single play, every game means so much. And you make one mistake like that, you could cost your team a football game. Chizola, man, thank you very much. It sucks that we lost, but I believe we could go 2-2. I think we can. I think we can definitely beat Atlanta. I think we're going to beat Atlanta. And I think we got a shot against the Saints. So I'm not giving up on this year. Trust me. I'm not even close. We have to beat Atlanta. And if we beat Atlanta, yeah, give us a chance to beat the Saints. But it's one game at a time. We got it. we have to at least get to 2-4 after 6 games. I think the schedule eases up a bit after we get past the halfway point. We have to at least be 2-4. That was always my mark. After 6 games, we have to be 2-4. If we could beat Atlanta and find a way to win 1 out of those 3, obviously you want to win 2 out of those 3 and be 3-3. But at a bare minimum, we got to win 1 out of those next 3 after the Atlanta game, Dallas, the Saints, and the Rams. If you can win 1 of those and get to 2-4, you give yourself an opportunity, I think, to compete if we could beat some of the teams that I think we could beat in the second half of the season. But we got, obviously, a huge game against Atlanta before I even start to think about the rest of the schedule. Mac, man, thank you very much, man. Tomlinson should have been replaced by a pass rusher. Then they traded away Hill. Price is a great pickup, but 0 pass rush. More sacks, more wins. Mac, I mean, the pass rush just hasn't been there. I'm not going to lie. The crazy thing is, Mac, and I said it earlier, I actually think the pass rush was good week 1. We just didn't sack them. Like, Bridgewater made some great plays, and we didn't bring them down to the ground. We weren't fundamentally sound. We had a lot of missed tackles. But I thought the pass rush was pretty good. We did blitz a ton, though. But I thought the D-line was getting a good push the first week in terms of the interior D-line. This week, pass rush not there. Outside of the first 2 drives, the pass rush for the most part was non-existent. And if you're going to play like that, you're not going to win very many football games. You're just not. Bernardo, man, thank you very much. We have no pass rush. I'm sick of Lorenzo Carter and Zimenez. Big Cat should make plays. He absolutely should. What's up with Pat Graham? Feels like he's allergic to press man. He just paid a lot of money for Adoree'. I don't get it. I don't get it either, man. I don't get it either. I think that they got a little bit scared off the first game where they were ultra aggressive, and today they didn't play aggressive enough. Like, they need to find a happy medium. Like, that's my mindset at least. And I think they need to be game plan better for their week-to-week opponents. I thought they were too aggressive week 1, and they kept picking up the blitz, and they kept extending plays and picking apart our secondary because of it. But yeah, man, I've been disappointed, man. I've been disappointed. Carter have barely said his name. Zimenez, I haven't said his name. Leo barely said his name. They're not making plays. They're not. They're just not. And so, hi, man. Thank you very much. Love the passion, my dude. Appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I love this team. You can't fake my passion. I love this team. I know you guys do too. So I appreciate all the support you guys always show. And thank you. Red Wing says, hey, man, Washington football team fan in here. Just want to say y'all played a hell of a game. It was ugly at times and incredible at others. Got to pay my respects. Hey, man, I tip my cap, man. Congratulations on the win. Your quarterback made some plays. I think we lost the game, but regardless, man, you won a game. You haven't beaten us in forever. And I'm sure Washington fans are incredibly excited after a win like that. So I appreciate you being a good sport about it. Yeah, and, we'll see you week 17. But, yeah, you guys won. We lost. Jai, thank you very much. Why isn't our 11th pick on the field? Well, 20th pick. We traded back. If he isn't a scheme fit, why the blank did we draft him? And Slater is there. Kadarius Toney may be a great player, but we don't know. Yeah, Jai, we should have drafted Slater. Should have drafted Slater. Said it the night of the draft. I was happy when we got the trade because I really liked the value that we made. But at 11, we should have drafted Slater. We lost Zeitler. Our offensive line sucked the year before. How in the world? And again, I don't want to have this rant yet because I'm trying my best to give Dave Gettleman the opportunity to prove me wrong. I'm trying to give him 6 or 7 weeks before I have this rant. But how in the world do you bank your offensive line success on a right tackle who was drafted 99th overall the year before at 150 snaps, who was thought to be a project, and Shane Lemieux, who was the worst graded pass blocking guard in football, and not make any additions to your offensive line? How in the world do you do that, Jai? How in the world, when you have one of the top 5 or 6 overall prospects in this draft at the biggest area of need on your football team, who could play all 5 spots on the offensive line? Right tackle, right guard, left guard, center, could step in if Lemieux's not getting the job, could play there. If you don't feel Peart's ready, he could play there. And then you see the way he's playing with the Chargers. How in the world, in a year where you're trying to assess Daniel Jones, do you pass up on Rashawn Slater, the most pro-ready offensive lineman in that draft, super technically skilled? You listen to any guy who analyzes players, it was the easiest pick in the world. That's my take on it. Dutch, man, thank you very much, man. I actually cried. I'm 22 and I've only experienced a loss. I don't know what to do anymore. I wasn't old enough to enjoy Eli's Super Bowls. Don't hate your life, man. Don't hate your life, man. It's sports at the end of the day, man. You'll get over it. Don't hate your life. All I'll say is, man, there were times when I was younger growing up watching the Giants. I went through tough days too. Dave Brown, I went through tough days. And not as tough as this. This is dark. But this team will get better, man. This team will get better. I don't know when, but it will get better. Don't talk like that. Darnell, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I heard Jack next week. Hopefully I get to have it next week. Hopefully I get to have it next week, Darnell, man. I'm going to do it every time I have a win. We didn't get a win tonight. Jack didn't earn it. LA, man, thank you very much. I know people want to harp on the O-line, which I thought played fine tonight. And Barkley, who still doesn't seem 100% recovered, but I blame it on the fact Garrett does not trust Jones, which I don't blame him. He should have trusted him tonight. I blame him tonight. Should have trusted him tonight. Danny Jones played his ass off tonight. But tonight's the defense, man. LA, I don't know how you can watch that game and not blame the game on the defense. The offensive line was okay. I thought Washington was starting to get a lot of pressure as the game wore along. They were sending a lot more blitzes, to be fair. Andrew Thomas looked like he was getting beat a little bit. I'll wait to see the film tomorrow and the PFF grades and see how each player individually did. I wouldn't say the offensive line had a great performance today. They didn't open up a lot of big run holes. I don't think it was atrocious. But the defense is to blame tonight, man. The only thing I will say is Garrett, it's not Garrett, though. That 4th and 2, 4th and 3, that's not Garrett. That's Joe Judge. That's Joe Judge. That's Joe Judge electing not to go for it. That's not Garrett. Garrett doesn't have that say. Garrett's not like, put Gano out there to kick the field goal. No, that's Joe Judge. So if you're talking about them not being aggressive on that 4th and 2, 4th and 3 where they kicked the 55-yard field goal, that has nothing to do with Garrett. That's Joe Judge. If you're talking about when they got the ball back on the after the interception by Bradbury at the end of the game, the first play I agree with the run. Got to make them waste the timeout. The second play I would have thrown the football. So I agree with you there. I would have thrown the football on second down instead of running it. Just call me Juice Man, very much. Did you see Kenny Golladay yell at DJ? Yeah, I did. And I'm sure that's going to be a mega story tomorrow. And if something comes out with that story, I'll definitely talk about it. But I'm not going to read too much into it. I think he's a competitor. We all know that offensive line, wide receivers rather, are alphas, especially a guy like him. He wants to produce for this football team. I'm not going to read too much into it. Jatone, man, thank you very much. Why do you play such passive offenses on that drive after the pick? This shit sickens me. Yeah, it should. It should, man. I think they should have thrown on second down. First down, I agree with the run. Second down, you needed to throw. You need to give Jones an opportunity to give yourself a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 3, or pick up the first down or score a touchdown. You had to give Jones an opportunity there. You can't play scared. You can't play scared. If he's going to be your franchise quarterback, you got to give him that shot there. And he played well enough to get that shot, to get that opportunity. LA, man, thank you very much. Not to mention, we still don't have a true number one receiver. Golladay is absolutely nothing more than a product of Matthew Stafford. He's no Odell. He's not Odell. I do think he's a good wide receiver. Like, if you realize the year where Golladay led the league in touchdown receptions, half that year, Stafford didn't play. They played their backup quarterback. I think it was like Blau. I don't even remember how to pronounce his name. Stafford only played the first 8 games. The backup quarterback played the second 8. I think Galladay's a very good wide receiver. He's a different type of wide receiver than Beckham. Beckham's explosive. Galladay's more that tall guy that'd go up and bring in contested catches. He's not Beckham. He's never going to be Beckham. Beckham was a once-in-a-generation type wide receiver when he was at his best with the New York Giants. But I still think he's a very good wide receiver. And LA, man, thank you very much. On top of that, as far as the defense is concerned, they're average at best, but would be better within the efficient offense, and they could keep them fresh. See, LA, that's what the first game I disagree. People always said that. They said the offense was the reason the defense got tired. I disagree. The defense, the first game, was the reason the defense got tired. The defense couldn't get off the field the first drive, the second drive, the third drive. And the offense actually had a couple long drives in that game. If you remember, the touchdown drive, even the first drive, we completed, I think, 2 first downs. The drive where Jones fumbled was a long drive. I think we picked up 4 or 5 first downs. The defense couldn't get off the field from start to finish. They couldn't get off the field on third down. They couldn't get off the field on fourth down. They wore themselves out. I put that a lot more in the defense than the offense the first game. Vidman, thank you very much. What's up, Dana? I've been a Giants fan for 16 seasons now. I'm 24, but these last few years have been draining. How long we got to wait? Vin, I'm hoping this year we win the Super Bowl. I'm not telling you we are. I'm not expecting it, but I don't have an answer for you, man. I don't know what the Giants are going to do. I got to wait till the end of the year, Vin, before I really tell you where I think this organization is headed, what they're going to do. Are they going to blow it up? Is it going to be a rebuild? Do we have a good year? Do we build up? I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know. I can't give you a prediction on that because I have no idea right now. But I hope we win a Super Bowl sooner than later, man. JDB, man, thank you very much. I've always been a Joe Judge fan until tonight. The way he came in, I didn't get to hear the presser, JD. I'm sure I'll get to hear that after. And showed no emotion. And Coach explained the loss is an effing joke. I'm sure I'll get to hear that tomorrow and I'll talk about it. I haven't gotten to hear it yet, JD, because I've been live. But yeah. Craig, man, thank you very much. I blame the play calling on that drive after the interception. You need to be aggressive and get that first down. Too much time on the clock for your sucky defense. I agree. The way the defense was playing tonight, Craig, again, first, I agree with the first down run. Second down, you had to throw. You had to give your offense an opportunity to close out that game because you knew the defense wasn't going to do it. At that point, they only need a field goal. They don't need a touchdown. If they needed a touchdown, that's different. If they needed a touchdown to win the game, then I would run it twice. But the fact they only needed a field goal, they had forever on the clock. You know what I'm saying? You had to try to pick up that first down on second down, or at least make it a more manageable third down. You had to throw the ball. Q-Dog, man, thank you very much. What's up, Entertainer? Being at the game tonight, I was so impressed and happy with Daniel Jones. Yeah, that's right. You went to the game, man. I'm sorry, man, that it ended the way that you did. I think you told me you brought your kid. So I hope you had a good time outside of the final result. Unfortunately, the Giants defense hasn't showed up. First 2 weeks, the Giants defense has been pathetic, Q-Dog. There's no other way to put it. The Giants defense has been pathetic the first 2 weeks. And we got to hope that it gets better. Otherwise, this is going to be a long season. Timothy, man, thank you very much. I'm on IR as a fan. I'm out for the season, broken remote after the Washington football team field goal. My wife carted me off to my room. Well, Timothy, listen, if you check out, I understand it, man. It is definitely stressful. I am not, but I understand fans who feel that way. And I understand why you broke your remote, man. You guys have seen me break my headphones before. When I don't like draft picks and, when things go bad in games, I'm just as emotional as all you guys. So I understand it, man. And this is a tough loss, man. I hope you get over it sooner than later. Q-Dog, man, thank you very much. After that turnover, I believe the Giants got too conservative and it cost them the game along with the penalties. My second road game in a row, losing by a field goal. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I agree. And I kind of talked about that in my video earlier this week when I said, let Jones decide the game. Let Daniel Jones decide the game. And today, they did it more so. They were definitely more aggressive. They came out throwing the football, and they used his legs, which I was begging them to do game one. But in the big spot, if you believe in this guy, you've got to give him the shot to close out the game. Now, if the defense is playing like last year and they're playing lights out, different story. But when your defense is playing like that, you've got to give them the chance to close out the game. And they didn't do it. So I'm with you, man. Sticky Fingers, man, thank you very much. I need to know what Kenny Golladay was yelling at DJ about. Yeah, I don't know, Sticky Fingers. The only thing I could think is, obviously, he wanted the ball. Maybe there was some miscommunication in terms of the route. I don't know. That he probably wanted the ball, though. He's the alpha. He's the number one. He wanted a shot to go up and catch the ball. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. Simon, thank you very much. Chris, I'm getting asked that again. What do you think Galladay's yelling at DJ? Simon, I appreciate the donation. Sticky Fingers literally just asked me that. I just think he wants to, and again, I guess we'll hopefully find out tomorrow exactly what he said, but he was probably frustrated that he didn't throw him the ball in a big spot in the football game. He probably felt he had a mismatch and Jones didn't look his way. That's what I would guess. Renard, man, thank you very much. We had no pass rush in the second half. Embarrassing. We really didn't have much of a pass rush in the first half. We had a decent pass rush the first two drives. Outside of that, we didn't have a pass rush the entire game. Didn't show up. Bernardo, man, thank you very much. Super chats are not appearing when you read them. Yeah, Bernardo, it's because it's so behind. I'm reading them, but it's so behind that I can't pull them up on the screen. As I catch up, I'll start pulling them up on the screen, but there's just too many people in here for me to be able to keep up. So I'm actually viewing them on another YouTube screen. So that way I have the opportunity to read all of them. I don't want to lose any of your super chats. So that's why I'm doing it this way. But as it starts to slow down, I'll start pulling them up. Chizola, man, thank you very much. Turns Kenny was screaming at Garrett next to Jones. Is that what it was? Well, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. You think it was Kenny Golladay screaming at Garrett? It didn't look like it, though, because it looked like Jones kind of looked like he was a little pissed off. But again, maybe that's the case. Masad, man, thank you very much. Worst loss since the Sean Jackson punt return. I mean, probably the playoff loss is worse, but it wasn't as gut-wrenching, obviously. It's up there. Yeah, it's up there, man. It's definitely up there. Definitely up there. War Pig, man, thank you very much. That one hurt so bad, I can't even look myself in the mirror. Did Judge talk his way into a head coaching job? Go Big Blue. Go Big Blue is right, man. I'm going to support this team still and love this team. But War Pig, man, there's definitely questions right now with Joe Judge. There is. I mean, you'd be lying if you said otherwise. Yeah, he says all the right things. Yeah, he's a guy that we want to get behind. Yeah, he's instilling the, that tough mentality that we want with our football team. And it does seem like the team really does like playing for him. They played hard for him last year, and I'm not falling off the Judge train yet, but he's off to a rocky start. And hopefully, he's a young coach still. Hopefully he gets his legs underneath him and he gets this team headed in the right direction. Keith, man, thank you very much. Shep is most consistent wide receiver, but they try to replace him with Kadarius Toney. Daniel Jones only good against Washington football team. What's the direction? I say Kayvon Thibodeau in the draft. Oh, if we could get Thibodeau, you grab him. Kayvon Thibodeau's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast. You get him. If he's there, you take him, man. Offensive lineman as well. I want them to go. Evan Neal's a guy I've talked about. He's a beast too out of Alabama. He's a tackle. But yeah, if Kayvon Thibodeau's there, I think he's going to be a top 3 or 4 pick. That's definitely a guy I'm interested in. Phenopolis, man, thank you very much. Golladay had 8 targets and couldn't go get it. Yeah, no, he definitely didn't have a great game. He had an opportunity, right, on that deep throw down the right sideline. It would have been a really tough catch, and it was great coverage. And he was going up against a great corner, William Jackson. But big players make plays. He had an opportunity to hold that in. It was great coverage. By no means am I flipping out that he dropped it. It was a really tough play. But, yeah, he didn't come down with the ball enough tonight. That's for sure. Brandon, man, thank you very much. I guess a bright side would be DJ's play tonight. Definitely. Don't know how much credit to give as he always shows up against Washington. Knew he wouldn't win after a field goal. The reason, Brandon, that I give him more credit tonight, and we'll see how he goes throughout the course of the year. I'm not telling you I'm convinced yet, but I definitely think it was a good step in the right direction for this year. The reason I take more, I guess, confidence out of this outing tonight by Daniel Jones from previous Washington football team outings, Washington's got a defense. Washington's got a legit defense. And this was really last year, if I remember correctly, he didn't really play good against Washington. And he played really well tonight. So I do think that there's more to take from this game than previous Washington football team games when Daniel Jones went up against them. Simon, thank you very much. Danny Shelton's 500-pound ass getting pushed back. I'm not a fan of Danny Shelton. I didn't like the way he played in the first game. Was not impressed with him the first game. Ian, thank you very much. It seems as if no matter how much talent is added to the roster, we're the same old Giants year after year. I don't know how to have hope for the future. Ian, man, yeah, I get it, man. It's failed decision after failed decision after failed decision. Not just draft picks, not just the head coach. Well, I'm not going to say head coach, but yes, it's been a mess. It's been an absolute mess. And the problem is we keep digging ourselves in a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And until the New York Giants get this going in the right path, fans are going to continue to be skeptical of this football team as well. They should. Travis, man, thank you very much. Not going to lie, Judge had a good press conference. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, Travis. Somebody said they hated it. You said you liked it. So I guess 2 different perspectives. Thomas, man, thank you very much. Why do we draft Toney if we don't use him? I still think we're going to use him more throughout the year, Thomas. But so far, of course, we're all pissed off they haven't used him more than they have. I do think he'll get more of a role in the offense as the season progresses, but we have to wait and see. Obviously, he doesn't have much chemistry with Daniel Jones. They haven't played much together yet, but they didn't play much in preseason. So, but yeah, I want to see him out there. Ron, man, thank you very much. Even Aikman commented the defense is playing too soft. He should. I mean, that was an obvious observation. Anybody, you could have asked Helen Keller if the defense was playing too soft. Helen Keller would have been able to tell you that. You could have been blind and known how soft that defense was playing tonight. It was ridiculous, man. And Matthew, man, thank you very much. The most Giants way to lose. Yeah, Matthew, that's for sure, man. And Thomas, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was really sad to think that the only sacks we have so far this season is from our second-round rookie and not from players we paid to make big plays. Is that accurate? I think we had 3 sacks in the first game, and I think he had one of them. I could be wrong on that. But he definitely leads the team in sacks. That's for damn sure. And I guess that's encouraging, even though the first one was more of a coverage sack, but he did get a sack tonight. One play I'll point out, though, and he's a rookie, so I'm not going to get mad at Azeez Ojulari, but there was one play at the beginning of the game, I think it was like the second drive, where Azeez Ojulari was in coverage, and he just, like, froze. Like, he was in coverage, and the guy caught the ball, and it almost looked like, and I don't know if you guys saw this too, it almost looked like Azeez Ojulari, when he saw the guy he was defending catch the ball, just, like, look the other way and just, like, walk off for the next play. Like, what are you doing? Go and make the tackle. But again, I'm not going to get too on him. Maybe it was a brain fart. I don't know. Maybe he thought there was a guy next to him that really wasn't. The guy ended up picking up an extra 3 or 4 yards. Octave, man, thank you very much, man. He says the defense can't keep giving up 5 to 10-yard plays on long drives. They're going to break in the red zone anyway. They need to play more aggressive. I agree. Last year, and I'm at fault with this as well, Octave. I'll be the first to say it. Last year, something that we may have overlooked as a fan base, myself included, outside of the poor quarterbacks that we went up against, the Giants defense last year was second in the red zone. It's hard to bank on that year in and year out. It's hard to bank on your defense being able to be that good in the red zone. Like, if we were league average in the red zone last year and we were 15 or 16, our defense doesn't look nearly as good as it did last year. So I'm guilty as that as much as anybody else going into this year. There may have been fluky aspects to this defense that last year that gave us higher expectations than maybe we should have had. And I hate to say that, and it's only 2 games, and they may very well rebound, and we may have a very good defense. But they got to get their act together. That's for damn sure. John, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, stand up, my friend. And I know we all love our teams and try to be optimistic. But with all the reservations you had from the start, it's going to be really hard to see a winning culture. Coaching needs to be better to succeed. John, they're going to blow up this team if they're as bad as you may think they're going to be. Like, if they win 4 games, they're going to blow this team up. They're going to start from scratch. We're going to have a completely new rebuild. We are. Got to face facts. And I hope that's not the case. I hope they win 8, 9 games, and we have something to build off of going into next year, and Jones has a really good year, and we'll see where we go from there. But it's getting to the point, man, when you reach year 3 of the rebuild and you go out and spend the money in which the New York Giants did, I mean, are you going to continue to try to put Band-Aids on things and kind of do what we did in 2016 and not really try to fix the problem, or are you going to knock it down and start over again? That's what they'll be faced with if this team is really bad this year. Mo, man, thank you very much. F the Saints, F the Giants, go Saints. Okay. Well, we'll play you guys week 4, and we'll see how that goes. But I appreciate the donation. Let me just maybe I can start pulling. Maybe not. I think I'm still too far behind. I might be able to pull them up. Let me see. Let's see. Because I don't like not being able to pull these up. All right, Jed is next on here. And how far is he? Okay, I'm gonna get to him soon. Gigantes, man, thank you very much. If your owner, organization, and office doesn't create a winning culture, your team will fail. Of course, it starts at the top. That's where all teams start. They start at the top. If the owner's no good, the team's not going to be very good. That's where everything stems from, 100%. Sticky Fingers, man, thank you very much. DJ single-handedly lost like 20 games for his teammates. I don't feel bad for him one bit that they finally returned the favor. Dex lost this game, though. Yeah, okay. I understand that. But, Sticky Fingers, you are very critical of Daniel Jones. You have got to give him a lot of credit tonight. He played very good tonight. If you're going to bash him when he plays bad, you got to give him credit when he plays good. Tonight, he played very good. And hopefully it's something to build off of. Euphoric, man, thank you very much. If another losing season for DJ puts up good stats, what do we do then? I don't know, man. You know, I have to evaluate how he does in big spots, how the team does. What I will say is, for Jones to take a big step up, we could definitely have a losing season if this defense is as bad as it looks right now. But I don't think we'd win like 4 or 5 games. I think he'd find ways to win at least like 6 or 7 games if he does take a step up. But I don't know, man. And that's a question we'll answer at the end of the year. But of course, if he shows a lot of growth and it's not his fault why the team is losing like tonight, this wasn't his fault. I think it warrants bringing him back. If he's good, it's not his fault if the defense is complete trash. The defense has to get it together. It's a team sport. Sweaty man, thank you very much. Tank and start over. We got to be real. Team is trash. Right now, it looks that way, man. There's no doubt about it. Son of Chaos, he says, I'm almost ready for another rebuild, and I've been very, very patient with this team, as have I, man. And DJ, even though DJ played great tonight, I'm sick, man. I think we're all sick. I think we're all sick. But the other thing I'll say is if the team's really bad, I was just thinking about this. If the team's really bad and it's even not Daniel Jones' fault, if you bring in a new GM, there's a good chance they're going to take a quarterback. They're going to want their guy, regardless. And maybe you trade Jones, you get something for him. But if you bring in a new GM, they're probably going to want their guy. Zai, man, thank you very much. He says, if DJ turns out to be the guy and we simultaneously have a bad season, that'll be something huge for us to take forward and truly start building around. Him starting with the Hogs. We're going to hire GM within. Fans wouldn't like that, but it's possible. We'll see at the end of the year. I hope the GMs get them, because if the GMs get them, that means we make the playoffs. I always root for my team to make the playoffs. But we'll see at the end of the year. We'll see what the team ultimately ends up doing. Matt, he says, thoughts on the prevent defense. I thought, and this is going to be the first super chat I pull up when I get to it, by the way. I thought the defense was too passive. I don't know if I want to call it the prevent defense or zone. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they ran, but I thought it was too passive tonight. I thought they weren't aggressive enough, especially in the first half. I thought the first half it was bad, and I don't know how you give up 75 yards on 2 plays. That's something I got to look over. McKissick completely burned. I think it was Tay Crowder in coverage. It was a complete mismatch on the right sideline, and they put Crowder in a really bad situation. And obviously, he's not going to, he's not the best coverage linebacker in the world. So I want my defense to be more aggressive. I want my defense and my offense to be more confident. Ben, man, thank you very much. Was at the game today. So disappointing. Really feel like Barkley has and will continue to be a non-factor. Pretty done with him, to be honest. We'll see, Ben. I understand why you feel that way. I still have to give him at least another week before I start to truly evaluate him coming off that ACL tear. Didn't really play at all in preseason. He did have that nice run, but they kind of caught the defense off guard with that. He's not himself right now. I'll be the first to say it. I'm going to give him more time than 2 weeks, though, coming off an ACL tear before I come to that conclusion. But he has not looked like his old self so far. I agree with you on that, Ben. Jose, man, thank you very much. This is the worst way to lose. Sorry if it's been said before. Just joined. Been getting happy since the 4 p.m. Central Time female genitalia mentality. Yeah, Jose, man. Listen, man, I appreciate you for popping in, man. And 100% the worst way to lose. The defense cost us the game, and the offense didn't show enough balls at the end of the game to pull it out, knowing that the defense wasn't going to get a stop. That sums it up. Will, man, thank you very much. Every time DJ has a signature game, it gets ruined. Not every time, but most of the time, correct. And it almost got ruined during the Bucs game, right? Which is the game that a lot of people think about. It almost did. They missed the field goal in that game. Xavier, man, thank you very much. We underappreciated Gallman. Gallman was good. Gallman was a good, tough runner. I was surprised that he wasn't able to really catch on with a roster. I think he's on Atlanta now. But Gallman was pretty good. Brendan says could score 50 and Peeps would still blame Garrett. Yeah, Garrett's definitely not the main blame tonight. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Garrett is by and he made some plays that I didn't like. Jones overcame them a couple times, but Garrett is by not even close to the first guy you should be talking about tonight. I agree with you on that. Lucas, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, man. Still going, bro. Yeah, I am. He says, wish this team had your heart and determination. I wish this team had my heart and determination. I wish they had all your heart and determination. All you guys that tune into my streams and love this team as much as you do, man. And I just hope things get better sooner than later. Jed, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Giant fan since Super Bowl 21, grew up in West Virginia, living in Cincinnati area. Thanks for putting tonight's game in perspective. Like and sub. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it. And yeah, check out the content, man. I make daily videos. I'll probably be live tomorrow to do a further recap with you guys, talk about the future of this football team going forward in the rest of the year when I get a better opportunity to really watch back the game and give some of my thoughts on it. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do these after every game rather than a post-game video. I just feel like it's better to be able to talk it out with you guys and get my mind off things. Snow Leopard says, my girlfriend said that me cheering for the Giants is like being in an abusive relationship. She's absolutely right. I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship. I also feel like I'm a therapist for, like 1,500 people when they come into my streams at times. I feel like I'm a therapist for a lot of you guys and myself when we talk things out. I feel like it's group therapy, but 100%, man, it is definitely like an abusive relationship. Now, the beauty of it, when things get good, it's going to be like the best sex of your life. But I just don't know when it's going to happen. Ty, man, thank you very much. How could Dex have a mental lapse in that moment? He choked. He choked. That's the only explanation I have for you, Ty. He choked. He choked. He choked. Hey, I jumped the gun. He was trying to make a big play. He was trying to block the kick. He probably thought for sure the kick was going to go through the uprights, and he probably felt the only way they were going to win the game was if he blocked the kick. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. But He choked. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Brick City says, is it me or did... Oh, wait. No. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Ryan Jackson says, F the bums that want to bail on the team now. Screw that, man. I'm going to be with this team until the end. And, you know, and everybody's... listen, there's some casual fans. There's some diehard fans. Casual fans, they're going to want to be here during the good times, and they're going to casually root for the football team. Diehard fans, they're going to be through the thick and the thin. Just like the Mets, man. I'm a Met fan, unfortunately. It's been torture my whole life, but I still support them. I still watch them. And when things... I convince myself, because I'm crazy... when things finally do get good, it's going to be worth it. It's the same thing with the Giants. Obviously, I've seen championships with the Giants, so it's not identical, but the recent history has been bad. Zai, man, thank you very much. NFC East 0-4 this week. Well, I hope so. I'm going to be calling the games. I'm going to at least one of them. I might do both. I know the Cowboys play the Chargers and the Eagles play the 49ers, and they play at different times. So I may do both. We'll see how I feel. I'll definitely do one of them at least. But, yeah, both of them could easily lose. And they won't be 0-4, though, because Washington obviously won. Pop Exotic, man, thank you very much. We should have won this game for Nick Gates. Yeah, man, I was so upset when Nick Gates went down with that injury, man. One of my favorite players on this football team. I was so upset when Nick Gates went down with that injury. He's such a tough guy, too, man. You saw him screaming on the football field, so you knew right away when you saw the camera turn to him, right away, you knew it was like a super serious injury. But, you know, once he got on the card, it was nice to see all the, you know, both sides, you know, we're making sure it was okay. And then he had a big smile and he gave a thumbs up to all the fans in the stand. So that was good to see, you know, that he was in good spirits. But yeah, I think he's going to miss the year, man. And you hate to see that. You hate to see that. Sticky Fingers says, DJ played great tonight. D let him down, no doubt. Last super chat out of context because you read so late. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to read out of context. Sticky Fingers, just a lot of people in here. So that's going to happen. From time to time. So I apologize for that. Because you read so late after you talked about feeling bad for him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Because there's times where I just think of it more as like an individual game basis. Sticky Fingers, like there's times where Jones screws up where I feel bad for the defense when they play their asses off. Tonight, I felt bad for Jones. But I understand what you're saying. Jones has screwed up in the past and the defense has put forth a good effort. And that's the problem with this football team. One game, the offense shows up. The other game, the defense doesn't. Tay, man, thank you very much. Defense was blank. You go for the 4th and 1st after the bad coaching. Oh, after the interception. After the interception, I wouldn't have went for it on 4th, but I would have thrown on 2nd. I would have definitely kicked the field goal on 4th because I don't think it was 4th and 1. I don't think. No, because it was an incomplete pass, wasn't it? I think, unless I'm thinking of a different play. I think he was looking for Shepard, and it was like a yard short, and it was incomplete. So I wouldn't have gone for it there. I think where you could have gone for it was the drive where they kicked the 55-yard field goal. I think it was like a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 at like the 37 or 38. I thought maybe you could have been aggressive there and tried going for it. But I would have thrown on 2nd down in that situation. Brick City, man, thank you very much. Is it me or did the defensive line seem weaker since BJ Hill left? If I had to guess, I think it's weaker since Dalvin Tomlinson left. Because BJ Hill last year was only played about 30% of the snaps. He didn't get on the field a whole hell of a lot last year. If anybody's departure made the defensive line weaker, I would say it's Dalvin Tomlinson, actually, Brick City. And I definitely think it was felt week 1 for sure. For sure it was felt week 1. In terms of the defense, the run defense up the middle, it was definitely felt week 1. And for sure, I'm sure the pass rush as well. Chris, man, thank you very much. Don't want to hear anything about Daniel Jones tomorrow. He showed up and played his heart out. Let's fix the stupid mistakes and move forward, please. I'm with you, Chris. Listen, man, I'm going to support. I think maybe some people took my video the wrong way the other day. And I'm not completely convinced on Daniel Jones. I'd be lying to you guys if I said that. He's got to prove more, but he definitely a good game today. And I still do believe, like I said, my bold prediction before the year started, I think he's going to throw 30 touchdowns this year, or maybe have like a combined 35 between rushing and passing. Maybe he has more of a role as a rusher than I thought, but I think he's going to have a good year. I do believe that. And I think maybe some people, when they saw my video the other day, they're like, oh, he's bashing Daniel Jones. I was not bashing Daniel Jones. I was doing the complete opposite. I was bashing Joe Judge. I was bashing Jason Garrett for not giving Daniel Jones the opportunity to prove whether or not he could be the guy. I thought Daniel Jones had a really good game today. I'm excited off the performance that he had today, and we need to hope he can continue to get better. But Chris, man, thank you very much. And Benjamin, he says, great to see Jared Williams take a breather from his Thursday night cuddling session with Max, the 16-year-old. 24-hour therapy session stream. No, not 24 hours. But I'll hang out with you guys for a bit more. I know there's a tough loss, but I appreciate it, Ben. Rocket Scientist, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, sending some of the Chiefs' winning energy to you. I appreciate that. We could use all the winning energy that you could get, and maybe come back when we play you guys. Maybe you can send me a little extra energy because we're going to need it when we go up against your football team. Not looking forward to that game. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. XXX, Timmy, XXXXX. Fake Jason Garrett, that English cigarette bud, him and that pure bum Slayton. Cut that piece of crap and get rid of Garrett. DJ did everything he can this game. Yeah, DJ overcame a lot of things in this game to even put up the points that he did. Like I said, got no help from the defense. But even aside from that, some of the things that people don't think about, all the penalties. Andrew Thomas had 2 full start penalties. The horrible play call by Jason Garrett when they lost 6 yards or I think it might have been 9 yards on the attempted run with Sterling Shepard. And even the bad pitch to Saquon Barkley that killed the drive. Daniel Jones overcame a lot today. He did a damn good job. And Jason Garrett, listen, did I like the offense more tonight? Yeah, they definitely stretched it more. Is Garrett perfect? Absolutely not. Pop Exotic, man, thank you very much. Where's Tony? Bradbury had a bad game. Bradbury's had 2 bad games. 2 really bad games. But yeah, I just hope Tony gets more involved in the offense as the season progresses. I think it goes back to that he didn't really get an opportunity to play in the preseason, when he had COVID and he was a little bit banged up and he didn't really get any reps. And I think they're slowly bringing him along, but I would have liked to have seen more Tony. And I'd like to see Tony used more in different ways. We haven't really gotten to see him in the backfield. We haven't really gotten to see him used in any other way outside of a little bit of motion game number 1. But I want to see more Tony. I want to see them get more creative with him. Travis Conklin, man, thank you very much, man. He says, it's scary to see that our defense is this concerning. The fact is, this season is going to almost depend on our defense. Here's what I'm going to ask the chat, because I'm curious. I'm curious to the chat, and then I'm going to get to these next super chats, because I was just thinking about this. What would you guys rather have this year? I'm going to give you 2 options, because I think it's a good question. Would you rather have the Giants go 9-8, 10-7, make the playoffs, but Daniel Jones kind of gets carried by the defense? Like he's okay, and he gets carried by the defense. Or would you rather have the Giants go 7-10, but Daniel Jones has a really good year and he shows a lot of promise and something to build up of going into year 4, and the defense is horrible and we lose a lot of games because of that? So would you rather finish with a 10-win season, but you don't have much more clarity on your quarterback position going forward? Or would you rather feel more confident about your quarterback going forward and win 7 games and the defense is a letdown? I see DJ Goodyear, 10-7, make the playoffs. DJ Goodyear, playoffs. You'd rather playoffs. 7-10, easy. 10-7, 7. It seems like it's kind of split. It seems like a lot of Giants fans are like, I want more clarity with my quarterback going forward and him having a really good year and something to build off of. Obviously, I think it's a good question because the quarterback's the most important position. He's still young. You don't know what you got with him going forward. And obviously, you always want to have a shot at the playoffs. So I think it's a good question. Of course, you want the best of both worlds. You want Jones to ball out. You want the defense to meet expectations. You want to make the playoffs. But I think it's a good hypothetical. Like if Jones plays like a top 10 to 12 quarterback and has a really good year and carries the team, but the defense is just a major letdown, I definitely could see some fans thinking that's better in terms of the outcome of this year. Of course, it's always 20-0, but I gave you a tough hypothetical. Rocket Scientist, man, thank you very much. It's okay. 400 yards against Washington. No, I appreciate that, Patrick Mahomes, man. We're going to need you to do it, man. Light them up. Octave says, I thought it was a good offensive game, but Jason Garrett has a bad tendency to get cute after big plays and do plays. Yeah, it's happened 3 times now, Octave. It's happened 3 times. It happened twice in this game. The pitch to Saquon, the handoff to Sterling Shepard, and then last game, the pitch forward to Kadarius Toney. The forward pass to Kadarius Toney when he had the motion after they just connected with Darius Slayton on a 45-yard pass. 3 times, Jason Garrett has called plays that have either killed drives or could have potentially killed drives, where they don't really make a lot of sense at that point in the game. When it works, you look like a genius, but they haven't worked. So, I don't like his timing of some of his play calling. I'm with you on that, Octave. Overall, I liked the overall offensive game plan today. I liked that they used Daniel Jones's legs more. I wish we saw a little bit more aggression later in the game at certain spots. That's as much on Judge as it is on Garrett, though. I like the offense a lot more, the play calling today, but obviously still not perfect. Time, man, thank you very much. Kadarius Toney would have caught that pass that bum Slayton dropped. Then people wonder why DJ looked bad as a quarterback. He had nothing but bums catching the ball. You're right. Nothing but bums and very little support. I mean, when Barkley went down last year, who did he have supporting him? And he had an offensive line that was trash. He hasn't had much of a support system. And I think that's why most Giant fans thought it was reasonable to go with Daniel Jones another year and see if he could grow with some of these pieces that we brought in. But Darius Slayton's got drop problems, man. I said it even going into this year. You know, people didn't realize that he had like 6 drops and he only had like 65, 70 targets last year. He had to drop the preseason game against the Patriots. He had 2 drops game 1. He had a big drop tonight. He's got drop problems, man. Floyd, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I would rather see DJ having a great year so we could use those 2 first-round picks on a pass rush like Thibodeau and the O-line. That's my thought process, Floyd. And of course, I'm always going to pick the playoffs as a fan. Like, if you tell me I always want the playoffs. But if I had time to recollect like a year later, I would probably be like, yeah, it was probably better that Daniel Jones took that big step up and we won 7 games. And then we were able to fill in the extra holes the following year. Like you said, get your Thibodeau, get your offensive lineman. And then if Jones does take that big leap and he is a near or top 10 quarterback going into next year, and you have more chemistry in this offense, then maybe, and you're not rebuilding at that point. Like, the only way I think you have a complete rebuild is if Jones tanks. If Jones doesn't tank and he proves he's a good quarterback, you're not rebuilding. You're trying to build off of his progress in his 3rd season. So that's my kind of mindset. Like, would you rather have him be like Mitch Trubisky with the Bears when they went 11-5? But Trubisky got carried by a great defense? Or would you rather have him elevate as a quarterback, but he gets let down by the rest of his football team? I think it's a good hypothetical. Floyd, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. Chris, I'm not saying the season's over, but if we lose to the Falcons, I'm going to lose it. And tonight was a tough loss, man. I'm sure a lot of people feel the way that you do, man, as I do. You know, I needed 20 minutes to just calm down before I even went live. I was going to go live directly after the game. I needed 20 minutes to go outside, walk around for about 5 minutes, talk on the phone, calm myself down, and then I came back down and did the live stream. I still obviously was passionate throughout the stream, but it was a tough loss tonight, man. It's going to take us a little while to get over it. Defense also lacks a consistent pass rusher. No, yeah, I agree, Henry. Big time. Big time. And thanks for doing. Yeah, man, Jed. Of course, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. Yeah, I'd rather have a quarterback. Yeah. Do you think losing Dalvin was way more important than we thought? Tom, I'm going to say it looks that way so far. Yes. But the thing I'm going to say, Tom, it was impossible to keep him. You couldn't keep him. You couldn't keep him and Leo. And you could say, well, Leo's not playing that well, but the other thing I'll say to that is Dalvin probably wouldn't be playing as well if we didn't bring back Leo. I think they help one another. And Leo, obviously, I thought was a better fit for the scheme and was more versatile. But Dalvin was a great player. He's one of my favorite players on the team. But yeah, him not being here has definitely hurt the defensive line. There's no doubt about it. We have not – Austin Johnson is not as good. He's not as good. And that hopefully next – I thought they were going to draft the interior defensive lineman this year, to be honest with you. There was one guy I loved, and we ended up not taking him. The Eagles got him in the 3rd round. I loved him. I think it was out of Louisiana Tech, Milton Williams. That was a guy in my eye on, but I thought the Giants were really going to look for an interior defensive lineman in this year's draft, whether it was the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. They didn't do that. Next year, I'm sure that they probably will, because that appears right now to be a downgrade on our defense for sure. Vin, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Chris, wrap it up, man. We need to go to work tomorrow morning. Oh, sorry, man. I will wrap it up. Vin said, I didn't even realize it was so late. Vin says, did Jones talk to the media? Can't find it anywhere. I don't know if he did. I know that Judge did, and I haven't got an opportunity to watch the press conference. I am going to wrap it up because I got to get some sleep too, and I just want to come on here and talk to you guys, let you guys get your thoughts out. I'm going to do this after every game. When I stream it on my channel, I'll just stay on. Like when we play Atlanta, I'll just stay on for a couple hours and talk about it. But I appreciate all you guys, man. I'm sweating, man. So I'm going to go upstairs, get a cup of water, and then try to go to bed. Stop thinking about this loss tonight. But a really tough loss tonight, man. And, I just hope we can bounce back. We got obviously a huge game against Atlanta week 3. I'll probably go live again tomorrow and recap it. I will definitely be live on Sunday. to call the Cowboys game and possibly the Eagles game. So hopefully some of you guys swing by for that. And obviously we're not going to be playing football now for 10 days. So be a little bit of a dead time. I'm sure there'll be stories that come out tomorrow, whether it be the Kenny Golladay thing or whether it be, what Judge had to say. I'll definitely be live. We'll talk about it. Maybe the midday, like 2 o'clock. So hopefully some of you guys swing by for that. And Octave, man, thank you very much. He says, I think the linebacker is needing improvement in pass coverage or at least more speed. Well, you saw Tate Crowder got burnt bad. That was like probably one of the biggest plays of this game when they came out and they hit the big play to McKissick on the 75-yard drive, 2 plays. Crowder got cooked in coverage. And we know Martinez doesn't excel in that area either. Sticky Fingers, man, thank you very much. My problem with the 7 and 10 scenario is the Giants fans don't agree on nothing. We might win 7 games and you're encouraged, but I'm like, hell no. I'm taking playoffs. Well, that's why I asked it. It's tough. I don't want to give you an easy question. I can see both sides of it because, of course, we all want the playoffs. But by the same token, the most important thing this year is to find out whether or not Daniel Jones is capable of being a franchise quarterback. So that's why I posed it. Like, if we have some injuries and the defense underperforms, but Daniel Jones plays like a top 10 quarterback or a top 12 quarterback and at least a slightly above average starting quarterback, do you take that? Or do you play the scenario where he's like mediocre and the defense carries him to the playoffs? I don't know what I would take. I honestly don't know. But I appreciate all you guys for being here. I appreciate all the support that you guys always show on the channel. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing the progression of this team. The one positive I take out, major positive, because to me, that's who we're looking at week to week. That's the guy. That's the key player in this team. The one major positive to take out of this game is unequivocally Daniel Jones. There are a ton of negatives. Joe Judge, obviously the defense. Gano was fantastic too. We need to mention him again. He was fantastic. Not just the kicks, special teams, kicking it down to the 1. Those were some of the lone positives. The offensive line was mediocre. It wasn't great. And Sterling Shepard, got to continue to say him. He's fantastic. Golladay needs to get more involved. Tony needs to get more involved. We need Barkley to get back to full health. But I think this game, because I don't discount this Washington defense. I think this Washington defense is at a minimum league average. I think this game, when you really factor in that Golladay doesn't have the chemistry yet with Jones, Barkley is certainly not Barkley yet. You had a key drop by Slayton. There's a lot. I think this game showed there's a lot of potential for the offense this year to grow and get a lot better. So I think that's the big positive you take out of this game. But the defense has to catch up if we're going to start winning some football games. But obviously a gut-wrenching, heartbreaking loss, which is going to take a while for you guys to get over. I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the support. And we'll talk soon, man. Be good, everybody. If you liked what you watched, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.